I'm not interested in care.
Hey, what it do? What is up? Good Friday. Welcome to Primetime with Isaac and no Sook. He is not over there. I don't see him, at least not yet. There was a lot of overcussing on text, so I feel like things have gone awry at the Sukanic household, and he is out today. We do have Levon Control, Levon James, Stephen Vaughn. Thank God you're here.
That is true. I am here, and I can confirm. Lots of cussing in the text.
Yeah.
And you know it's serious at that point.
Well,
like, if it wasn't, he wouldn't be talking that way.
I have told him this to his face, so I don't have a problem saying this on the air. Sook is, and I feel like I'm somewhat responsible for this, because when we first met, you know, we're old. We've been together a long time. And when we first met, I think my cussing rubbed off on him, because he never, you know, he wasn't Mormon-ish at the time, but he kind of was, like he was fresh out of the church, and I feel like cussing was not really a thing for him back when we first started. This was, you know, mid-2000s, and I have a bit of a foul mouth, and I think that rubbed off on him to the point now, 25 years later, he's kind of an overcusser.
Overcusser?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can get uncomfortable, the F-bombs. Well, look at, would you care to read that text? How many F-bombs were in that text?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to, but
yeah, it's,
count the F-bombs.
I got 3 F-bombs in here.
Yeah, and it's what, a 2-line text?
No, it was a longer text. It was an 8-liner.
Oh, okay.
But there's a 3. There's
Maybe
a 3 F-bombs.
I didn't read it all.
Yeah, you stopped. You stopped.
Yeah,
I
I got to know. I got the gist after the 3rd F-bomb.
Yeah, you used AI.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you can do this for me.
Yeah, I'm a cusser, so I have no leg to stand on, but I feel like he's a bit of an overcusser, and you're not.
I'm not a big cusser either.
You're not.
So we'll see how you rub off on me.
Yeah.
But, you know, or rub on me.
Well, no, I think it would be him now. See, this is what I'm saying. I think the tides have turned.
So I'm Mormon?
No, and neither is he.
Oh, okay.
But I think his cussy, just notice, now that I've pointed it out, and this is obviously off the air, although is it? Just watch. There's a lot of F-bombs in there. And I mean a lot.
There are. I like it, though. I don't mind it. I have no problem with it.
You're a fan. You're a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a real
big
fan.
I'm
not a drinker or cusser, but I love it when everyone else does. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well,
you do you.
He's having plumbing issues. And I don't mean his personal plumbing. I mean his home.
You don't wish that upon anybody.
No, it's bad. Like the plumbing is, don't you think that's, of all the things that can go wrong in your home, that's the one that gives you the most trepidation?
Right. Because
it could be really bad. Yeah.
It can get bad
exactly.
real quick, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
No, you just have to call a plumber and write a big check.
Right, because you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. It's not going to work.
Well, I do. I don't know this for certain, but I was just talking to Dusty, and he said something to me that I didn't want to know the answer to. I don't want to know what's going on, honestly. Because he told me yesterday he had a pipe burst at his house. I'm like, oh, boy, that sucks. And he was pissed about it. He goes, all right, I guess the plumber's coming out tomorrow, which is today. And the S hit the fan. That's all I know. And then clearly I stopped reading the text, and then I'm like, okay, well, we got you. Don't worry about it. And then I talked to Dusty. He goes, did you hear? I'm like, well, yeah, he pipe burst or something. He goes, no, he cut his hand. I'm like, what? No, I didn't. You know, again, I don't know. But that's on brand, you know.
We wake you for the important things.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, all I need to know is he's not here today.
Right.
And I'm sure he'll be fine. It's plumbing. Like, he's not going to die, okay? And I seen his contract. He's got plenty of money. He'll pay the plumber. And so I guess he cut it. So I could totally see him trying to do something on his own to avoid a big plumbing bill.
100%.
And then making it way, way worse.
Well, he did that with the stove. He fixed the stove all by himself.
Yeah.
And now, he definitely has watched a couple YouTube videos and like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, how old is your home?
My home is
What
actually
year?
pretty new-ish. It's like 13 years.
Okay. So not bad.
Yeah.
Built in
2012.
Okay. My home is completely remodeled in 2000. Okay. And I was just telling Suk, kind of braggadociously, I was like, dude, I have had no issues for 5 years because everything was new. Gutted, everything's new. So shout out to D&J Construction. My buddy Dave Jones did the whole thing. Obviously they did a great job. But what was I saying?
Your house is awesome and doesn't break down.
I was bragging about my house. Oh, and I was telling him that.
Right.
And he didn't like that, so he threw.
Yeah, because his house is
1979.
Okay.
His house was built. So I mean, that is about the time where something like this happens. A plumber comes out and says, "Yeah, you probably need to redo this whole thing.
Redo everything."
Yeah. And you need to pay me $30,000 to do it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know if that's the number, but so I could see him totally trying to, because like the house before we remodeled it, our house was completely Jimmy. Am I about to say something bad?
Probably.
Can you say Jimmy rigged?
You can say that.
What does that mean? Where does that come? I don't even know what that means.
That's
so
like you're doing it not by the book.
Right.
Right. You're doing it
not up to code.
Right.
You're just saving money.
You're putting duct tape on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So my whole house was a booby trap for that reason. Like you could tell somebody owned it and he was cheap as hell or didn't have any money and he just did everything himself. And all of that went away when we remodeled it. But we have so many problems, right, when that happens. And I feel like Sakanik is one of those guys. He's like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then he cuts his hand and has to call a plumber.
Well, that's what I know I would, if I needed help, I'd call my dad and he would do that. He would just, duct tape everything and rubber band it.
And you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's functioning. That's what I do with cars as well. I just drive them until they completely die, and then it's like, okay, I got to get a new car now. I don't want to like pay for a bunch of repairs and stuff and have a nice car. I'm just going to drive it till it literally dies.
But you don't maintain the car
I mean,
so you can get the most out of it?
I do, but I always like push it back. Like, oh, you're supposed to maintain it in November. It's like February, and I go in.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a top priority.
So do you ignore the rattle or the, like a...
Yeah, you just ignore it.
You just...
You're fine. As long as it, if it goes and breaks, you're fine.
Mechanics love hearing that.
Yeah, no.
Well, anyway, my kid, they just bought their first house, and they're now married. They weren't married at the time, but they closed last year, I think. And she instructed him to take out the old, I think it was the dishwasher. Take out the old dishwasher and put it outside because the new one is being delivered. This is last year, okay. And he forgets. He goes out drinking. This is the life of a 20-something. And I totally can relate to this when I was in my 20s. He forgot to do it, and she works early. He works as a nurse and was doing overnight, so they have very opposite schedules. So he was not about to piss her off when she woke. So he goes out and gets drunk, comes home, and goes, "Oh my God, I haven't taken the dishwasher out," and it's still hooked up and everything. And she gets up early, 5 a.m, to go to work, and if she sees that sitting there, he's probably not gonna like it. So he was like, "All right, I'm gonna take this out right now. I got this. I can do this. So where's my wrench?" And he goes in and tries to take out the dishwasher, and house floods. Pipe bursts, house floods. Yeah. They call us at, 5 a.m, like, we don't know what to do. Like, so we go over. I mean, there wasn't much we could do, but the plumber was already over there, and it was just, again, first home, same thing we just talked about. You peel back a few layers, and you realize, oh my God, this guy that used to own this home did everything on his own, and it's not up to code, and it's terrible.
Yeah, it's like held together by gum.
Exactly.
It's like
gum.
Vegas Vacation when they
yes.
they start ripping out the wall at the dam.
Doublemint.
Right.
And so the pipe, they fixed the pipe, but they were out of their house. And that, not to say that because he was drunk, this is why this happened. This was going to happen anyway because the house was held together by, as you say, gum. But they were out of their house for 9 months.
Oof.
dealing with insurance and flood. The flood hits the cabinets, and
Right.
there's all these. I mean, it was a mess right after they bought it, and they're planning a wedding. Well, now they've gotten married. They were able to. I'm amazed at how much they're able to handle in their 20s. They handled it all, and living in another home, another house for 9 months, and then now they're married, and now they have a brand new floors, brand new paint, brand new everything, and some brand new pipes.
Brand new marriage. It's great. That's
a brand new marriage.
I
Yes.
tell you what, that's a great way to start a marriage out.
I think if you front load all your problems,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough at first, but if you get through it, now you're
good.
Now you're good.
Because we all know that when you're first married, the honeymoon stage is the best. Before you have any kids, before any of that kind of stuff.
That's right.
It's
that's
like,
right.
dude, you love your wife, you love your husband, whatever it is.
And then you go and complicate it by adding
children,
500
by adding
things.
other problems, just in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Stay in this zone right here.
Because you have a good year and a half of like, hey, man, we are really truly in love with each other.
Yeah.
And then the real world starts.
It's bliss. Yeah, and then life beats you down.
Yeah, and then you're just
and you make compounding mistakes.
Right, mistake after mistake.
It's like, oh, we should have another kid. That'll solve our problems.
Like, oh no, I just realized I'm pretty selfish. I don't want the first one. No, what?
Well, you can't give them back, or can you?
Can you? No.
But you're absolutely right.
We love them.
What a blissful state they're in. But anyway, they come back from the wedding. Or no, this was right before the wedding. They call us and they're like, yeah, it's really cold over here. It was like the hot water heater went out. They had to pay another $25,000. So the first bit, like the flooding and all that was all covered by insurance. But they also learned right before leaving for Mexico for the wedding that they had, like, I don't know, however much it was, tens of thousands of dollars in heating and electrical. So, But now, like you say, all the problems front loaded. Now everything's great.
It does seem to happen that way, though, anyways. Like, even if it's backloaded, everything goes to hell.
It rains, it pours.
All at once, man.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And it is the worst. And unfortunately, Suk is going through that right now.
Right, because he just fixed the stove, and he was all excited about it. He's like, he was showing me all the pictures about how good it looks. He's like, yeah, I did it all myself. Blah, blah, blah. No, now the house is flooded, and the pipes are burst. Now next, the roof's going to cave in.
It's not good. And as he mentioned, I think he still has a hole in his roof, actually. And as he mentioned, his wife is never his girlfriend, I guess I should say, the BTJ, never the best with house issues. So he's got
Sounds
that.
like me. I don't know what to do.
Does Coach take care of all that?
Coach takes care of everything, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Coach is handier than you?
100%.
Wow. Is that a little demasculating?
Dude, she makes more money than I do. She has a better job than I am. She's a better person than I am. She's better than me. She's better than me in every single way.
You're not better than her in any way.
Not that I know of. Maybe
there's got to be something.
Maybe height.
You have a better jumper.
I got a better jumper.
Yeah.
I can beat her one-on-one in basketball and sports.
What a great life.
But you know what? I've come to the realization she's just better than me, and it's okay. And
of course it's okay.
I went up in the world. So
she's a great person.
But having said all that, it is a little demasculating, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with myself, Rob. Comfortable with my skin.
I love that. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Some people are saying it's Jimmy rigged. Did I say Jerry rigged?
I don't know. Yeah, we're getting
Jimmy
along
rigged. Yeah, I think it's Jimmy rigged. Somebody said jury rigged.
Well, someone said jury rigged as well.
Is it jury rigged?
I don't know. I thought it was Jimmy.
I gotta do some research. I'm gonna hit ChatGPT.
I think it's Jason rigged now.
Yeah, exactly. New term. While we're in the break, I'll look that up. Okay, well, we've got fun, super hot sports stuff. Joey Harrington is on today, and we'll start with extreme college football revenue capitalization, a wild idea from one college football sports scribe or something. Next on The Fan. By the way, got to stay. We buried the lead. Team USA, men's hockey, kicked the crap out of, who is it, Slovenia today? Is that who it was?
Slovakia?
Slovakia? Yeah. They beat them 6-2 and are headed to the gold medal game against Canada. Sunday at 5 a.m., by the way, which, I don't know how you feel about that. I guess I'll be up. I've always said I like early morning sports on weekends, and so I should not poo-poo 5 a.m. for the USA-Canada gold medal game, but that's a little early. Maybe 7 a.m. would be nice. But
yeah, like 7 is about the earliest I want to get up.
Yeah, well, you actually get up and watch. See, I won't get up for it.
No.
I will just wake up and hopefully I catch some of it. And if I don't, I'll watch it on Peacock.
I'm not going to.
You're going to get up?
No, I won't.
You're not, yeah.
Now, a hockey game.
Coach would, though.
It's going to last, 2.5 hours probably?
Yeah, I guess, sure.
So I guess you could wake
you
up.
Catch the third period.
Yeah.
That's all that matters anyway.
Right.
I mean, it is amazing. Like, Canada was losing to whoever they were playing, Finland, I think, today. And they were losing, they were down 2-0. And, again, just thinking these hockey, I'm a hockey expert. I'm the fan hockey expert.
Ever since the women's game, you've been all in.
Yeah, you know that. So it's amazing in these hockey games how the better team will fall behind. You can almost always count on them winning. It's weird. Like these upsets, like these teams play well, but they never hold off the better team. And Canada was down 2-0, and lo and behold, they win 3-2. USA women did the same thing. And I hate to say it, but I fully expect the U.S. to have a 2-1 lead or whatever on Canada and probably lose in overtime in the gold medal game.
That's kind of how it's been in Olympic hockey, yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Explain that to me.
I know in other sports, like the WNBA, this happens a lot, where if the good team gets down, they're going to usually come back and win. I guess in the NBA as well, but the WNBA as well, like more, because the best players are way better than like an average player. So like if you have the best players on your team, even if you get down, you can kind of step on the gas for a quarter and you can still win.
Right.
Where I think in the NFL, everyone is so kind of about the same. It's so hard to make that type of comeback. But the NBA is the same thing. Like if you have 2 superstar players on your team, they can play well for one quarter and they're going to be way better than everybody else. And you can kind of catch up from any situation. I don't know what it is about hockey.
Oh, well, I think it's the same thing. I've always been fascinated by the idea that teams score when they know they have to. Like, wouldn't you apply that to the whole game? You know what I mean? Like,
because they like really put the pressure.
They
on.
really get aggressive. It's like, well, why don't you just always do that?
Well, because in theory you would open up your defense, right? Like if you go, if
sure.
you throw 4 dudes at the net and then you don't get it, it's a fast break the other way.
That did not happen in the women's game or this game today. So I don't know, maybe, but
Isaac Robb coaching strategy.
Yeah, thank you.
Score more goals.
That's right. Shoot the puck.
Shoot and score. I mean, it's
just shoot it.
Very obvious.
If you shoot it a lot, the more you shoot it, the more you're going to make it. Is it that hard?
The analytics.
Thank you. By the way, I have very big news. First of all, I apologize for demasculating. It's emasculating, and I knew that I misspoke. Demasculating, not a word. You said jerry-rigged.
No, I said Jimmy-rigged.
You said Jimmy-rigged. I said jerry-rigged. It's actually jury-rigged, like jury duty. Originating from sailing, a jury mast was a temporary mast erected when the main one broke. It referred to a functional, though temporary, repair. So it actually is jury-rigged. Now, jerry-rigged is from about a century later, and it referred to poor quality housing that was jerry-built. So it was flimsy construction. So I think what has happened over time is people have combined those two, jury-rigged and jerry-built, and it has become jerry-rigged.
So there's nothing about Jimmy in there, though.
There is, yes. Towards the end it says, now this is Chat GPT, mind you.
Right.
They say that, where did the Jimmy, it says, while some assume it relates to World War II German jerry engineering, the term predates the war. It is sometimes confused with Jimmy-rigged.
Mm.
And don't get me started on Jane-rigged.
No. Do not get me started.
So it's jury-rigged. We learn something new every day. Jury, like jury duty. Okay, so Dan Wetzel ESPN. I got some audio to play for you here. Let me see if I can find that. Hopefully, unlike yesterday, it will actually play here on the Fan. Dan Wetzel, I wouldn't normally play something like this, or maybe I would. But Wetzel's a respected college football guy. Like, this is not a guy who just...
He's not Paul Feinbaum.
Right. He's not hot takey guy. He's
not
a
Mel
reporter.
Kiper.
Yeah, he's on the inside of college football. Right. Dan Wetz, he's with ESPN. He was recently on Chris Fowler or perhaps Reese Davis's podcast.
I think they do a podcast together.
Okay. Who doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't have a... Where is your podcast, by the way? Why do you and Coach not have a podcast?
Coach Vaughn, Coach Vaughn and the assistant coach. We should. We don't have one. I used to be on a podcast, but I'm not anymore. Why don't you do a podcast?
Well, I do a radio show. I do a podcast. I do 4 hours of one every day.
You do live podcasts.
You want more?
I think the fans not only want more, they are demanding more.
Well, they're not going to get it.
Out of Isaac Robb.
I'm too old.
Can you imagine coming into radio business now like you have? That's the thing, is you got in at the perfect time.
Perfect. You're so right.
And I didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got to do a podcast or you're nothing.
I know.
But we are, like, people say, yes, we're on the radio, but we're more of a podcast. Like, if you're under 30, we're a podcast. If you're over 50, we're a radio show.
Right, because if you listen to a regular podcast, it has like a 2-day expiration date anyways.
Right.
So like you could go and listen to your show for 4. And the thing is these podcasts don't do 4 hours worth.
Exactly.
You're out there doing yours is actually a harder job.
Yeah. We do 4 different podcasts every day.
Sheesh.
4 a day. So yeah, you want me to do an extra podcast? Yeah, no thanks. Unless you pay me more.
Zook does.
Yeah, I know he does.
Man, what a overachiever.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. With Nemec, right?
Right. The West Coast Bias.
Yeah.
Go check it out wherever you get podcasts.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. But I'm sure it's great. Sook's
sure.
great.
Yeah.
I love working with Sook. I mean, I wouldn't have anything to say on my own anyway. Like, if I just did a podcast, what would I...
Like, well, yeah, what are you bringing? What are you bringing to the
nothing.
table? Nothing.
I bring nothing to the table.
You put it all on the floor for the radio show.
That's right.
You leave it on the floor, though. You're no Darren Peterson.
We'll leave it out there. By the way, we have a follow-up on him coming up.
I can't wait.
So here's Dan Wetzel, and this is an idea that is quite radical, but he's a respected guy, and he is saying this on Reese Davis's college football pod.
We got Ohio State, we got Penn State, and we got Michigan. And we put 3 of you together and say, look, why are you floating the rest of these guys? Because if we had your football rights for your 3 schools and you all play each other, and maybe we bring in USC or Oregon, or maybe we get a little scheduling deal with Notre Dame. We have 5 or 6 every week. We have a big time game. And then you go out and schedule everything else as kind of an independent. You're not independent, but you're not. I've heard estimates that Ohio State-Michigan game alone is worth $200 million in terms of media rights, sponsorship, all the stuff. That's $100 million for each school. That's more than they make in the entire Big Ten. The Big Ten pays them like $78 million. If you had this one game as independents or in a little group, and then we throw in the Ohio State-Penn State game and the Michigan-Penn State game, and maybe we add a couple of these others, and then you take all you go play in the MAC for your other leagues or whatever you want to schedule out. And all of a sudden Ohio State's making a couple $100 million in media. All these schools are going from 78 million in media to, I don't know, 150, 200.
How about that?
That's crazy. I don't know if the numbers are actually correct, what he's saying. It seems a little inflated, just like everything in college sports seems a little inflated. Like we always talk about the NIL salaries, and we always hear, 8, 9, 10 million. I think those are a little inflated to what they actually are getting. So to Wetzel's point, like, yes, the Michigan-Ohio State game is worth a lot. Maybe not as much as he's saying, but that has always been my biggest fear is when they started paying the players and doing the salary thing, is that it's going to turn into just a minor league NFL or a minor league NBA, minor league NFL for the most part for college football. And that scares me because I'm not watching the college game necessarily for the play on the field. It's not about that, because if I want to watch the best players in the world, I go watch the NFL. Those guys are infinitely better than college players. I'm watching the college football game, and college football is my favorite sport outside of everything. Like, it is my ultimate favorite sport. I watch it for the pageantry, for the emotion, for the crowd, for the chants, for the song, all of it, for all that kind of stuff. And if you take it away, because you're trying to make it a mini NFL. That's where it's going to lose its product, and it's going to lose what it has. And so it does worry me that these people are talking about them breaking off and doing their own league as the Big Ten, basically, or the Big Ten and SEC break off and take everything away. It does scare me a little bit. But I'll say if you're an Oregon fan, at least you're mentioned in that conversation because you've built your brand so much that I think Ohio State would have to bring you. Like, you want to get the best teams, you can't leave out Oregon.
Yeah, okay, so there's a lot there. I got so many things.
I kind of went everywhere.
Well, the first thing that I think is key is, and I'll tee this up for next segment, but the fear-based idea that college football is not going to be the same or is going to be worse, I think is misguided. Now, I'm not trying to tell you how you feel. I get why people feel that, but I often I think you got to go back to the data, and the data is showing, at least early, that college football's popularity is rising as fast as the valuations of these schools. Like, it is not what you're saying as, oh, this scares me and I hate it, is actually, and it may just drive you out of being a college football fan, you specifically, but that is not what is happening to the majority of people who are now becoming college football fans for a variety of reasons, many of which being the very things that you think are going to ruin college football. They're actually making it way better and way more popular. That's what I want to tee up for next segment, but we're out of time here. So let's talk about it. Coming up next, what if? What would it look like in college football? Oregon is independent. Ohio State, independent. Penn State, independent. Michigan. Is that game really worth $200 million? Like, that is nuts. So let's get to all that. Coming up next, we'll talk a little more college football. But first, here's Stephen with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, a great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the fan, the Trailblazers made a roster move today. They're signing two-way guard CD Sissoko on a new 2-year deal. Sissoko was on a 2-way contract. He had no more eligibility left on it, so they had to make a move. And in that move, they cut Ryan Rupert to make room for Sissoko on the main roster. Sissoko has started 24 games this season. Tonight, Trailblazers hosting the Nuggets. First game after the All-Star break. Denver, 1.5-point road favorites over your Trailblazers. Sacramento Kings forward DeAndre Hunter. He's going to have season-ending eye surgery. This is the third season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break, who have the worst record in the NBA. USA men's hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They will now face Canada in the gold medal game on Sunday. That's going to be at 5 a.m. when they face that one off, where Canada is a slight favorite over the United States. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, they've agreed to a new deal at Indiana that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million, and the deal will go through 2033. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year eligibility to play at Tennessee, but he has been denied by a judge. He will now be attending the NFL Combine. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
1080 AM.
All right, the fan text line. Hey, Rob, not everyone believes today's college football is better. Signed, Beavs and Cougs. Ha, touche. I get that. And I totally understand that. So we're talking about Dan Wetzel, and we played his clip. And again, he's not saying this is going to happen, but he is raising an interesting point of the Ohio State. If Ohio State and Michigan, that game alone is worth $200 million, why could Ohio State not just play an independent schedule and make 3 times as much money or twice as much money? And he mentioned that being true about Penn State. He mentioned that being true about Ohio State, Michigan, and then he also threw in Oregon, USC. Not every school could do this. Are we eventually going to see a college football where there are conferences for the schools that can't do this, but then all the other schools are independent? All the big schools are independent. All the ones that can are independent. I don't know. I have no idea. Look, college football, and we've talked about this a million times with Dave Bartu, and he's so right about this. All of this, the way college football has moved in the last 10, 15, 20 years, none of it has been predictable. I mean, USC leaving the Pac-12 came out of absolutely nowhere. Surprised everyone. So if it's all been this unpredictable, why do we try to continue to predict what it's going to look like? We should stop. I have no idea what it's going to look like, and I don't think Dan Wetzel's idea is that crazy. I also think it's kind of crazy.
Can I push back on that a little bit?
So I don't know. Sure, of course.
The one thing that's been predictable about it is it's all about money.
Yeah.
How can these schools get as much money as possible?
That's fair.
And so all these teams going to the new conferences are getting the most money. And so Dan Wetzel's idea of, well, they're going to make tons of more money if they leave the Big Ten. That's where it scares me, is because to that Texas fan, that text point of it hasn't been great for Oregon State or Washington. Every small school is getting pushed to the side, and we're going to get a big super league of 28 to 30 teams, which is minor AAA NFL, which is not what I want.
Well, might. But you don't know that. But I see what you mean. Follow
right.
the money. That's a fair...
Because that's where they make their money off these big-time games. And so if you just get out all the small schools, you're going to make even more and more money.
But what is... Again, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this because we don't know what it's going to look like. But what is the problem? Why would it scare you if the smaller schools, the schools that can't be independent, and they all kind of buoy each other through a conference and have a TV deal through a conference? What is wrong with college football having both? Having some conferences of schools that can't be independent, but then other schools, like Notre Dame's already independent. So what's wrong with having 30 independents? What's the difference? Like, I guess I don't understand the fear. Let me relate it back to the Oregon State, Washington State thing. Now, that is a legitimate reason to sour on college football. 100%, I get that. You guys got hosed. Hopefully things change. The landscape is always changing. You never know. Don't give up. But I totally get being soured from that. But what you're saying about the fear of, like, what is it that is going to be missing? What are you most afraid of if it it's already basically becoming like a mini NFL. So what is the problem with that? Because the numbers are showing that it is way more popular than ever.
But just with the TV ratings?
Yeah, TV. Well, I think the
money involved.
The idea of, yes. Well, the money is going through the roof.
Crazy,
which
yeah.
I saw a story on. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But the idea of allowing kids to transfer more freely, and then also compensating them, has brought more competitive balance to college football. See, Indiana just won a freaking national championship. It's crazy. So the key here is that most people have college affiliations, right? The college affiliation and people that is their alma mater, that's the ticket. That is what the NFL does not have and will never have. And so when you have a Texas Tech or an Indiana rise up, and there are plenty of other, Oregon is one of these over the last 25 years.
Really, yeah.
When you have that, you have all of those alumni come out of the woodwork, and as more schools are able to compete, the more your fan base grows because all of those alumni are now interested. And so that is leading to your point, to way more money. And the valuations of these football programs and these particular games are going through the roof. So it's only going up. And so I guess I don't see the problem with that or the fear in what that is going to look like.
I think
don't
it's
see
just
it.
the fear of change. Like, I really enjoy the way college football was and how it was. Like, I love the Fiesta Bowl when Boise State pulls off that big giant upset. I love these upsets. I love the fact that any school can beat anybody in any given day. But where we're going, it seems like we're just going to throw that out the window. We already kind of are, because you look at the college football playoff, they're allowing these group of 6 teams in, but they can't compete because all their good players are getting poached by the big schools to be backups, or if they're really good, to start on those type of schools.
Did the Arizona State Texas near upset? Did that? I mean, isn't that kind of the same? I mean, it does still happen. It can happen.
It does. And then my problem with it is it's just going to bleed into college basketball, and it's going to ruin the NCAA tournament. Like, it's a slippery slope for me that we're only going to cater to the top of the top. And we're not going to leave out. We're going to just throw out a bunch of different schools that do have good fan bases, like Oregon State, like Washington State, like a Boise State. We're going to throw them to the side and just say, just deal with them all by yourself, while all these big guys are going to make all the money. And even in that, they're going to throw away some of those Power 4 schools as well. I mean, you go and you look at some of the schools in the Big Ten. Why would anybody want a Minnesota or a Rutgers? Like, those teams are going to be thrown out to the wayside too. I don't necessarily watch college sports for the actual play on the field. Like, that's not the main reason why. And so that's why I like the fact that it's unpredictable and we can get the pageantry of it all. If we lose that, it's just about the play on the field and the best teams. It doesn't compete with the NFL. Like, I can watch that by itself.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. I just don't. To me, I think it's, and again, it's just a difference of opinion. I'm not trying to tell you how you feel. I just feel like when more schools are able to compete, it's not about catering to just the top ones like that. It's actually better in that regard, because it's kind of a free market now, and that it's just
if more schools start spending like Indiana,
well, that's what's happened.
We'll see.
They have. I mean, Indiana just won a championship.
And that was awesome.
Incredible.
That's why that was incredible this season. But we'll see if that, I mean, Indiana will continue to be, but if you're right, if random schools just start paying money and start winning games like this, I'm with you. I will probably flip sides and say, this is incredible.
Well,
what a decision by the NCAA. But right now, I see it.
Does
worry me a little bit.
But I just don't. I mean, the changes that they've made have allowed more schools to compete, and that goes against everything you're like. It's exactly what you want based on what you're saying. And so I mean, yes, it becomes about money, and sure, the rich are going to get richer, but that doesn't mean that it's only about them, because look at Oregon, look at Texas Tech, look at Indiana, and there will be more. The key is they just have to invest. You have to play the game. This is the new game. And some schools, it's going to be harder for some schools than others, but I go back to my old argument about college football. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's always been harder for Oregon State. And yet you weren't complaining about it back then. So not to say Oregon State doesn't have a complaint these days.
Right.
They do. It's just, I don't know. I think it's better than ever, but I guess I kind of see where you're coming from. Well, if it does turn into that, where it becomes about the top 20 and 25 and everyone else is just...
Yeah, I want every school to have some type of hope. Like, we make fun, you make fun of me and Suk about the Blazers and having hope. Like, I want Oregon State to have the hope of be like, we can make the playoff and maybe win a game. Like, right now, I don't know how any group of 6 team can really feel like, we can compete and win a game.
That has not changed. There is nothing new about that.
No.
There's just, that's the same as it's always been.
And that was the whole thing about the 12-team play. It was like, we're going to be, get some group of 5 teams in there. And then it's like, then the Pac-12 goes, the Pac-12 ruined everything by falling apart. That's the whole thing.
That was not good. But it's just, there's always going to be a cutoff line.
Right.
There's always going to be a cutoff line between the haves and have-nots. To me, it's better to have more haves than before, and that's what we have.
I think you're right. You are right on that, is that there are more and more schools at Texas Tech and Oregon and Indiana that you can say are legit national championship, even in Ole Miss, right? Like before, Ole Miss was never a national championship.
And by the way,
contender.
the SEC is not like I
Vanderbilt.
Put it this way: if you are a school that's behind the 8 ball a little bit more, you have a better chance now than you did 20, 25 years ago.
Right.
How the hell were you going to compete with the SEC schools recruiting? All the kids grow up in those states. They have all the money. Like, you have no chance. Now, at least, if you invest, if you get people like Mark Cuban to donate to their alma mater. See, that's the thing. You go back to being that alma mater, but pull on those school affiliations.
You need that one rich guy.
Everybody's got that, though. All these schools have a lot of alumni, and a lot of people have been successful at most of these schools. So it's just, I think it's harder, always going to be harder for some, but you're in the ball game. You're in the ballpark. And I think that's good for college football. Now, I saw an article. We'll get to this one next. But this article was in the Wall Street Journal, and there is a finance professor at Indiana who does an annual analysis of the valuations of programs. And wait till you hear how much some of these just football programs are worth. Is it in the billions? We'll give you his list, and we'll see where Oregon is on the list coming up next here on The Fan.
This is the Playoff Report.
Playoffs?
Everything you need to know about playoff football. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew. When it's tailgate time, it's Tully time.
Drawing this year to Mike Kamara on defense. A year ago, 89-77. Scoop turns the corner and picked it up off the dribble and sends in a tomahawk. Wow, did he ever rise on that one? Yeah.
When was that? Scoot.
This was before the All-Star break.
Yeah, before the All-Star break. Well, I guess they haven't played, have they?
Right. They play tonight.
Tonight, the first game.
I'm going to that lake.
They're playing Denver.
Only 1.5 point dogs at home.
That's because Denver played last night.
Yeah.
Why? Who do we think? Blazers a nice
baby.
little.
I'm going Blazers.
Are you?
This is the playoff push.
The
Playoff
run
report,
starts.
Get ready
It
for the
starts
playoff
now.
push, Rob, right
It
now.
starts now. My God. Playoff report brought to you by Tullamore Dew. When it's tailgate time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original Irish whiskey.
Dirt and spray. Dirt and spray.
I'm Dirt. But I did see you trashing another golfer.
I can't. The hand warmer thing pissed me off this weekend.
Really?
Every time they showed him, it drove me nuts.
Look miserable in those conditions. It's raining, the wind's
Suck
going.
it up, you candy ass. Wow. You know what you need? Or you want to put golf in a dome too?
Are you
We're
anti?
outside. It's raining. Oh no.
The home of Dirt and Spray. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on the Fan Sports Network.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video
What GT for fun?
All right, Sook's down today. He's got plumbing issues. We're talking college football.
You got a favorite drop, real quick?
Favorite?
Yeah.
Well, I oftentimes have recency bias.
Yeah.
With drops. Like right now, the Mick Cronin. Here, let me see.
Yeah.
Dude, Mick Cronin, this one kills me.
Are you raising your voice at me?
So like if I go old school, God, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole club. You gotta let me think about this. I think
you just kill it sometimes during the bump music. Some of the drops that you drop into the bump music, it gets me every time.
Yeah, and that's what we want.
It just makes me giggle.
I think it's really sexy.
Your boy Neil. Yeah, there's just so much. I mean, like, you guys should see this. We have, how many pages of drops do you think we have?
It's like 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, you've just you've struck a chord with an idea. I'll write it in the notes about favorite drops. We do this from time to time.
Yeah.
We used to before you got here, we had a drop bracket. We had a 64. And then we had the top 2 drops. See if I can remember what they were. The listeners will know. The top 2 drops had T-shirts made with the sayings on them, and I think one of them was me and one was him. God, what were they? Blah, 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 blah.
Come on, dude.
You threw me off my game.
I know. We'll do it later. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
So the Beaver fan is back, and he said, Beavers.
Yeah, Beaver fans are mad at you right now.
Yeah, I understand. Look, I get it. They're frustrated, and they should be. But I also don't understand. The idea, the human trait of fearing the new normal does not serve us well. And oftentimes, I think we as humans need to do a better job of catching ourselves when we are simply fearing something for no reason. Because that's normal, fear-based. You want things as they were, you're used to them, you're comfortable with them. But oftentimes people exclude the idea that things could be even better and the new normal could be better. Now, I'm not saying it might be for the Beavers, but this guy says, for example, the Beavers used to have hope. We'd have a magical season, get to a Rose Bowl, celebrate that 11-2 season for 100 years. That was our natty, and now that's gone too. Okay, I guess technically that is gone. But the new normal of being in the new Pac-12, which is an easier conference to navigate for you, you hire the right coach. Hopefully this new guy is the right coach. He builds it up. Once you start winning, you'd be surprised how much money starts flooding in. I'll give you Kansas. I keep going back to Kansas. Like, you can't out-Kansas me. Kansas is the worst program in all of college football. And lo and behold, you hire the one right coach. We hired like 6 bad coaches in a row. But we got one right. And he started winning, and all of a sudden, money started flooding in. That can happen at Oregon State, and it can happen quicker than you think. Okay, so if that happens, and maybe even not even to the scale of Kansas, it doesn't have to be the scale of Kansas. You play in a winnable league. If you win that league, you absolutely have a chance to be in the college football playoff. Probably a better chance to be in the college football playoff every year than going to the Rose Bowl that you used to dream about.
100% actually.
Exactly.
Yes.
So why is that so awful? And the old way of thinking about a magical season, even though you never dreamt of a championship, you've never dreamt of a championship. Why is that so much worse? I don't understand that. I mean, I think that the new normal for Oregon State could be really freaking exciting. And then what happens to Oregon State fan if you get into that tournament and lo and behold, you win a game? And then you're dreaming, like, look, I get it. You probably aren't going to win that thing. But Indiana did. Indiana was a joke 10 years ago. And I mean a joke. So I think you got to be careful just saying everything's gone. All this new stuff sucks. Everything's terrible for us. I get it. It sucks for Oregon State and Washington State right now. But you don't know what the future is. And the new normal could be pretty interesting. Could be fun. It's going to give you moments.
And there has been some changes in sports that we all thought, man, this is going to be stupid. And then it turned out to be really good.
Exactly.
NFL extra point or like move it back. Now,
exactly.
It's like an exciting play.
At one time, they lamented the forward pass.
The pitch clock in Major League Baseball.
Come on.
That sucks. I remember I was like, yeah, that's stupid. Oh, no, it's way better. So I'm willing to admit, like, I could be wrong on this. But I will say, I agree with you. Oregon State has a much easier chance to make the playoff in the new Pac-12 because basically, if you win the Pac-12, you're competing with the American Conference to get into the college football playoff bracket. But you'll be the 12th seed. You're going against a really good team. I think the fact for the part that Oregon State fans were be mad about is that you were never on the level of Oregon, but now you are in a completely different universe than the Oregon Ducks, right? Like Oregon is in a completely different stratosphere than you are.
Yeah.
And that's the part that hurts is like, look, we can't compete with these schools. Yes, we can make the playoff, but then we're going to be Tulane and get our brains beat in by 40 points. We're going to be James Madison against Oregon.
See, I just think that's wrong. I just think you can compete. Right now it looks bleak because your team sucks. But again, I think you will be surprised how quickly you can feel better about your program if you hire the right coach and he starts winning a few games.
It will be interesting if Jamarcus Shepard can come in and win 8-9 games and they look good. Will more money start rolling in? Because it was just such a it was so bad with Trent Bray. Like everyone hated it.
Yes.
Nobody liked him.
It was bad.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
So if Jamarcus Shepard, and by all accounts, talking to Nemec, it's like, yeah, he's done a really good job recruiting, and on the high school trail, he's done a decent job in the portal. If he can get some guys and they can start winning some games, all of a sudden maybe some money does roll in.
That's right.
And you're not going to compete for titles, but maybe you can make the playoff. And I'm willing to admit that's fine and dandy, but it's just if we just keep going to the level of we're going to kick all these guys out, we're just going to go big schools, that's where my problem is going to be. You got to at least include the little guys.
Yeah, well, I think as the tournament expands, and they will expand it,
right,
you'll get more little guys. But anyway, again, it's hard to predict what it's going to look like in the future. So I want to tell you about the valuations of programs. So this guy, he's a professor at Indiana, and he does this every year, and he said valuations for college football programs are up over 50% year over year. Like this, college football is skyrocketing. And this does go to your point about, follow the money and the rich getting richer. So where is Oregon? How many college football teams have a valuation higher than Oregon, and who is the highest, and how much is it? We will get to that next, but we must take a break. We'll be right back on 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, this update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, Portland Trailblazers back in action tonight, taking on the Denver Nuggets, where the Blazers are 1.5 point road or 1.5 point home underdogs in this one. But they made some roster moves today. They are signing two-way guard Sidi Sissoko on a new 2-year deal in an NBA contract. He was on the 2-way contract, had no more eligibility on it, so they had to make a move. They cut Ryan Repair to make room for Sissoko, who has started 24 games for the Portland Trailblazers this year. Big part of the team. Kings forward DeAndre Hunter, he's going to have season-ending eye surgery. This is the third season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break, joining Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis. USA men's hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They're now going to take on Canada in the gold medal game. That game will be Sunday at 5 a.m., where Canada is a slight favorite over the United States of America. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, they have agreed to a new deal at Indiana that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million for the reigning national championship coach. That deal is going to go through 2033. University of Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year of eligibility, but has been denied by a judge. He will now be attending the NFL Combine. And spring training underway. Some bad news, though, for the Twins, as ace Pablo Lopez is going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He'll be out for the entire season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn at the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
All right. Welcome back. Big Sook is out today. He'll be back Monday. Got LaVon James over there. My name is Isaac. I figured out what the two winning... this was voted on by the listeners. What the two winning drops were that got T-shirts. I don't know if we still sell those, but we had a T-shirt that had this on it.
My son is an idiot.
That one on Sook's side. And this was mine.
Rocking you on a Friday. Why did I say that?
So those were the two winners.
We actually got that in the YouTube chat, rocking you on a Friday. Why did I say that? Someone did
Yeah,
that.
someone remembered.
Someone said that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to put in the notes that we need to do a favorite drop segment. I think that's important, especially with a new producer, because you have a different perspective on.
And that's the thing, is I listened back in the day, so
you know the drops.
I know a lot of the drops, but now we're adding some newer ones, and there's still some I'm still getting used to, but I mean, you do a great job.
Should I go right? Should I go left? Damn it! How do I get in that little girl's toilet?
That's one of the more regrettable ones.
Yeah, I actually remember you saying that.
Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. So the college football discussion, I get a little. It's frustrating to only focus on the Beavers because of what they've been through and the Cougs. Because somebody said, as a Coug, getting a 500 record and your coach leaves, the idea of a competitive and sustainable program just doesn't feel possible in today's game unless a major booster is born. And I totally understand that. Again, I would reference back to Kansas. I cannot begin to tell you how desperate and lowly as a fan I and we felt about our program. It was that. It was like, dude, we cannot. I remember talking to my friends about folding the program. Like, we can't compete. This is bad. We suck. There's no chance. Like, because the second we get a coach, he's going to be gone. Well, that didn't happen. Again, it's this fear mongering. Just hope that you can. Hope that winning begats the next thing, which begats the next thing, and so on and so forth. That's really how it's been done at other programs.
Right.
And again, it frustrates me to talk only about Oregon State and Washington State, but we're in the Northwest, so I understand. The reality is, and this really sucks, and this is probably what really burns them the most, is that they're the only two that really got hosed.
Yeah.
Because if you think about I just went through quickly last season's college football rankings. Indiana just won a championship. Kansas is relevant. Texas Tech, BYU, Vanderbilt, TCU just played in a national championship game a couple of years ago. Duke, SMU. You mentioned Ole Miss. I can keep going of schools that were jokes of college football programs that are now competitive. How many of those have a chance to win a national championship or can win? I mean, that's a whole nother debate. So we're not really talking about, these teams can win and these teams can't. Most can't, or would have to have a very, very special season in order to win. All I'm saying is, out of 134 or however many Division I programs there are, the vast majority of them are now able to be more competitive. 2 got absolutely hosed and put behind the 8 ball. But I also would state that they still can be competitive, and I think you would be surprised at how competitive you can be once you hire the right coach.
I 100% agree with you.
That's it.
And because it's easy to look at Oregon State, Washington State, and point out the negatives. It's much easier to say that than to say, well, look at everyone else and how positive it is, because for the most part, a lot of these teams really, like Oregon State, Washington State, all the MAC schools, the Sun Belt, all those schools feel the same way. Like, we can't compete. This is against us. When you look at everyone else and it says, well, we're doing a lot better. Vanderbilt, top 15 team now.
Yeah.
I emphasize way more with the Oregon State crowd, and I want them to feel better. But to your point, you could go to the opposite way and say, look, college football is thriving. They're making more money than they ever have. They're being talked about more than they ever have. Whether you like Josh Pate or the president, like the president is now talking about college football. Like, there is way more on the positive side as well. I think there's a lot on the negative side, but there's a lot more on the positive side as well. And it's extreme. It's extreme negative, extreme positive. But we need to find somewhere in the middle where we can meet, in my opinion, meet a little more in the middle. So it's a little more fair. But I don't think we'll ever get to that point because there's too much money involved now. And so there's no turning back. They kind of said, look, we sold out. We're going to go all in on the money. Why would I turn back at this point? There's no reason. We don't need an Oregon State, Washington State to make $200 million. Let's just go make $200 million.
Yeah. So I think as any program, you just need to worry about your in-house. You need to worry about your coach. You need to worry about your own culture. You need to worry about your NIL fund. And you need to get out and hit the pavement and get your boosters fired up.
And to your point, if they do make a big monster league of two leagues, and they have like a West Coast and the East, and they split it up that way, who's to say if Oregon State's competitive that they wouldn't get invited as well?
Exactly.
Because really, Cal, Stanford, like you can compete with those teams. So I think to your point, it's still all about trying to get a positive momentum on your school, on your football team, because right now it's so bad. And hopefully DeMarcus Shepard's the guy. He seems like he has got a great personality. Fans are behind him. So, as you said, it's not over. There's still more in this fight left. But it just seems like you've been beaten down so much it's hard to get up.
Yeah, it's hard. I get it. I totally understand it. But if DeMarcus Shepard is the guy, your next step, the next thing you have to do is make sure you're able to keep him as long as possible. If he's the guy and you identify him as the guy, that's what you need to be working on right now.
Get the money.
Find
the money somehow.
Dude, your facilities are pretty good. Like, you've upgraded your stadium and everything. It's like, that's your priorities. Get your house in order. Okay, so this guy is a professor at Indiana, and he puts valuations on college football programs. He bases it on cash flow, industry trends, obviously revenues, and sort of broader economic shifts to determine what each team would go for if it were sold on the open market, a la an NFL team. He does this annually. And do you have any guesses? So Ohio State, Michigan, according to Dan Wetzel, that one game is worth $200 million. So if that is true, which you seem to think that's a little high, maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. But that would certain teams would be worth billions. If that's true,
Right.
certain teams would be worth billions. So who do you think has the highest valuation if sold on the open market? College football program.
I would go with Texas.
The answer is indeed Texas. Hook 'em.
Hook 'em horns, baby.
$2.2 billion.
Sheesh.
And valuations are soaring. He said the interest in the sport is soaring. And like we were just talking about, and that's what, because more teams are able to compete and they have alumni and fans that are more interested and there's more eyeballs, and it's only going to keep going.
Right.
It's only going to get more popular.
I wonder if there's going to be even more big money that gets involved as a boot. Like, even if you didn't go to Texas, but you're some rich guy, you're Steve Ballmer, and you're like, I want to be part of USC. You know, like something like that, and he just starts giving them money. I wonder if there's going to be more and more of that because there's going to be return on money at some point.
Yeah, well, I think that's more the VC route. Like I see,
Right.
you're starting to see some of these venture capital
Utah.
funds. Yeah, that Utah thing, dude. We don't talk about it enough. That is a game changer.
It
And
really is.
It's that
If that works, everybody is going to do it.
everything's different. And so yeah, I mean, that's why it's so hard to predict what any of this is going to look like. But Texas, $2.2 billion. And he points out, too, by the way, and this is worth noting, as schools continue to cry poor to you, which they always do, yes, it is more expensive for them, and yes, they now have to pay players, so it's harder, but they are also worth way more and bringing in way more. So do not feel sorry for these universities. And by the way, the $20 million that they have to pay, they have to spread out over all their athletes, is absolutely nothing when you think about one football game being worth $200 million. So they got off pretty easy, actually, even though the kids are now getting money, which they should have. They got off very easy, even though they're crying about, oh, how are we going to afford this? Well, you're going to afford it. Somehow, something tells me you'll find a way.
You'll find the money somehow.
So where does Oregon rank, do you think? Now, their valuation, let me see here, I got to pull this up, is about, so they're not quite at $1 billion.
Right. I would say they're
Give me a number.
within 10 to 15. I'll let me go like number 14.
Close. They are 19th.
Okay.
In terms of total valuation. Okay, they are sitting at $873 million of evaluation. Their adjusted revenue is $139 million. They are sandwiched right in between Wisconsin and Colorado, believe it or not. The Colorado program is worth almost as much as the Oregon program. And here's another interesting tidbit. According to this, Washington is worth more than Oregon. Washington is at $1.14 million.
It's the Seattle market. It's a lot of it's the TV markets. I mean,
that's a lot of it. Yep. They're number
because we
12.
learned that even with Oregon, like the Big Ten initially didn't want Oregon. They just wanted USC and UCLA. And then like, let's just add Oregon and Washington too.
So Washington's right in between Oklahoma and Tennessee, which is pretty good company. So the top 10 goes like this. Texas is 1 at 2.2. Texas A&M is actually number 2 at 1.6 million. Ohio State 1.55 million. LSU 1.54 million. Then you have Georgia 1.47, Michigan 1.46, Notre Dame 1.41, Penn State 1.41, Alabama 1.4, and Nebraska, believe it or not, is at 1.2. Nebraska,
that one shocks me a little bit.
That's a little surprising, but they have a huge fan base,
I mean, the
huge
entire
stadium.
state is.
Yeah, you got a whole state behind you.
Right.
They should.
How do they not win more?
Exactly. What is?
Am I wrong on this?
No, they should win more.
Well, Matt Rule's been a disaster there.
I
thought
kind of
he'd
like
be
Matt
good.
Rule.
I do too. I thought he'd be good, but it's been a minute there. He's had a couple years.
Can no one win at Nebraska? Is it the curse of what was that guy's name?
Mike Riley?
No. Who's the guy that took over for Tom Osborne? He did a good job, but they fired him because he was following Tom Osborne. I forget his name. Frank Solich.
Yeah.
It's the curse of Frank Solich. That guy was pretty good, and they turfed him. They have high expectations
Who was
there.
that goofball too? They kept winning like 9 games, but then they fired him.
Oh
as well.
yeah, that Pelini.
Yeah.
Bo
Bo
Pelini.
Pelini, they had the Twitter account about him and everything.
He was crazy.
Are you raising your voice at me?
He was kind of he was in the, oh my God, UCLA coach, Mick Cronin. He was the Mick Cronin archetype. Anyway.
Come on, dude.
Okay. Interesting article. This was in the Wall Street Journal. I'm cruising here through BYU only at $500 million. They're 40th. Kansas worth more than BYU. We're at 590.
Wow.
Boom. We just got a nice new stadium.
It is interesting to hear these numbers. It is because, we can kind of base it off of the Seahawks being sold, the Trailblazers being sold to Dundon. Like, some of the top schools aren't that far behind. An NBA team at this point. So you're
right.
It makes me wonder if
it's crazy.
Some of these, really rich dudes are going to start investing in college football because there's still a lot more growth to happen.
I would. Wouldn't you? If you were super rich, wouldn't you be looking for a way into college football? I would.
I would too.
I think it's absolutely the next thing that's going to pop money wise.
I mean,
in sports.
Mr. Beast, the YouTube guy, he even hinted like, oh, maybe I should just get into college football, just give ECU $100 million, see what they could do. I don't think that's out of the question.
I don't either.
That someone like
isn't that guy filthy rich?
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
He could do it. He went to Eastern Carolina.
He lives in wherever, Greenville, North Carolina. He lives in that city. And so someone put that out there. He's like, yeah, maybe I should do it because it wouldn't cost him anything because he's worth so much money. It does make me wonder if college football is going to get super rich guys just say, hey, let's go win a national title at some random school.
Crazy.
Literally, it's the video game.
Washington State is 54th. Not too bad. They're sandwiched in between Boston College and Stanford.
Where's the Beavs at?
Washington State, $388 million. The Beavs are 59th. They are at $335 million valuation, and that is right in between Baylor and Virginia. So you're worth more. Beaver fans, it might help you to know you're worth more than Syracuse, Arizona State, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. You're worth more than an SEC school. That's probably about it. Now we're getting into the Central Floridas. Anyway, interesting way to look at things. That guy, he's a finance professor at Indiana, and he does the annual analysis of programs of value. And he says the main takeaway is skyrocketing. It's like 67% year over year. It's only going to get crazier. All right, coming up next, we have a quick Darren Peterson follow-up. It's in his kitchen. So we'll get to that when we return here on 105.1 The Fan.
Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, moving on. In the news coming up next, we'll talk about if you've been out near Washington Square Mall recently. They're doing some construction. We'll tell you what they're doing. Pretty exciting. But first, a quick update on Darren Peterson. He is the kid at Kansas who inexplicably pulled himself from a game the other night. He was having a great game. He scored 20 in the first half, drops a 3 early in the second half, and then signals over to Bill Self and says, yeah, I'm good. I think we got this in hand. I'm out. Never seen that. Unbelievable. And, of course, this is making national news. We've talked about it all season. He's a prima donna. He's constantly talking about nagging injuries. Is he hurt? Is he not? I don't know. Bill Self's trying to protect him. Anyway, the follow-up is today, a guy by the name of Phil Beckner. Now, Dr. Vaughn, you found this. Who is Phil Beckner?
He is he's a basketball trainer. So he's trained a lot of different NBA guys. I believe like Damian Lillard has trained with him. But he trains with like tons of NBA guys throughout the league. Like Dame's the one that he trained for a long time. He's worked in the NBA. He's worked like everywhere as a coach. So he's like a well-known trainer that guys go in the offseason just to work on their game, but especially NBA players. Yeah,
so this idea, and Bill Self even said it, he's like, the NBA is not on Darren Peterson's mind, and he's not trying to save his body for the NBA, this, that, and the other, is wrong, because because Darren Peterson is working with Phil Beckner. He's working with an NBA trainer. So obviously his eyes are on the NBA, and by the way, they probably should be. He's supposed to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Well, and as Beckner
you can do
said,
both, can't you?
Beckner said he's never planned on working with a high school college player full time.
Until this guy.
Until Darren Peterson.
So Beckner...
So that does go to your point, like, Beckner's an NBA guy. Peterson's like, I need to work with him because he knows how to get guys better for the NBA.
And I don't know about you, but I have no problem with that.
I don't either.
A college kid doing that. The problem here is that the coach is saying that it's not about the NBA, and all this stuff, this drama going on with him where he's in and out of the lineup, seemingly on a whim, is not about the NBA. But I think it is about the NBA. I mean, if you had to boil it down to one thing, the guy, I mean, it's pretty obvious. The guy, they're playing Oklahoma State, okay? They're beating Oklahoma State by double digits. He comes out in the second half, hits a 3, and looks over at the bench, is like, pull me. I'm good. I've done enough. I'm not going to risk getting hurt in the next 15 minutes of this game because we've got this in hand and I've done what I needed to do. That is about the NBA. I don't know how that could be construed as not. It's not like he said, "Oh, I just cramped up." No, he's not. He's kind of resorted to not even explaining any of this anymore. So this guy Beckner comes out today because this is now national news. Darren Peterson is starting to get heat. He's starting to get heat from Stephen A. Smith.
A said, "No way,
I would draft this guy." Yeah, because he's unreliable. And so suddenly, in a stunning twist of PR fate, Phil Beckner tweets today, "I've been able to work with countless NBA players, even some All-Stars, MVPs, and future Hall of Famers. Never planned on working with a high school college player full-time until Darren Peterson. People always ask me, why him? His character, maturity, passion, and competitiveness was like no young player I have ever been around. Trust your truth, #better, #different. Watch our new all-access workout with Darren Peterson on YouTube." You tell me if that isn't some PR spin to try to... Thank you. The studio audience loves it. This is the day after all this stuff hits the fan, and he has this coach tweet out how great he is. I mean, come on, man. This stuff is also damn transparent. The only thing I'm hoping is that he, come NCAA tournament time, he knows he can make a lot of money in the NCAA tournament. I mean, what'd they say? Who's the kid a couple years ago that got like, I think he ended up getting like $5 million because he had a huge NCAA tournament. Not that Peterson cares about that. He's about to get...
He's about to get paid.
Yeah, what does the number 1 pick get?
A lot.
Yeah. So he's about to get tens of millions. But I just mean, hopefully, the only thing you can hope, and Bill Self came out and said it today. He said, you know what? I just hope come tournament time, and he said, I talked to him about it. Come tournament time, these are huge games. We need you. And hopefully you're able to finish.
You would know this better than anybody, you as a Kansas fan, but Bill Self has had some really good teams, won some championships. If they do anything in the NCAA tournament, they get to the Final Four, this might be his best coaching job ever, because Darren Peterson, for how talented he is such a headache, and he has handled the situation, Bill Self, so
pretty well.
Great.
So far,
so good.
But he hasn't gotten through to Peterson.
It hasn't, and it's not going to.
You don't think so?
No, I think the pattern is fine. It's just like Suk said, like, the pattern's
Trust
there.
the pattern.
Trust the pattern.
Yeah,
and so
right.
I don't think you're going to get it through his head, but at the same time, you want that guy engaged, because when he plays, he's the best player on the court. He's the best player not in the nation, and you can win a national championship with him going. So Bill Self knows I have to keep him engaged. I want to throw him under the bus because he's a pansy and he doesn't play and he's sick and he gets hurt all the time.
And he knows what's better for him.
And he knows, but I also need him on my team because I don't think I can win a title without him. And we need this guy, and he's that good. And so it's the hard part in sports where it's just like they hold it over you because they're so good. How you kind of have to get him in if you're a franchise, if you're a coach, if you're a team. But at the same time, like, man, it'd be so easy just to trash him. And Bill Self hasn't. And we've seen guys like Mick Cronin do it. We've seen Tom Izzo go crazy. Like, he's not doing that. And right now, Darren Peterson, he is a PR nightmare, and he's trying to get a little PR here saying, look, I love basketball. I'm working hard. We'll see if it works, man. But it's a fascinating case. I can't wait to see it in the NCAA.
Yeah, it really is an interesting case because he's so good. But I think that you're exactly right in this sense. If Kansas wasn't that good, I think Bill Self throws him under the bus.
Well, I also think Peterson probably just says, I'm good.
I'm out. Yeah.
I'm out. I'm going to go work with Beckner.
He may not even finish the season.
Right.
But because they're good, he's playing. Like, if you're ever going to play that game, if you're Bill Self, it's with this kid. Kid gloves.
It is.
It's kid gloves.
And that's why I really think if they do anything in the tournament and they get the Final Four, like, this might be his best job, because it has to be weighing him down and wearing him down in this situation to be like, look, I got to be super fake to everybody and say, man, we love this guy, we care about one. Deep down, it's like, I hate this kid because I need him and I can't rely on him.
Well, I think everyone, including Bill Self, is holding out hope that he will nut up in the tournament when it matters and just finish games. All he needs to do is play. There's nothing. He's not lollygagging when he's out there. He
plays hard.
He's balls to the wall. It's just play. So, and I think Self is just holding out that hope because he knows now he's going to hurt his draft stock if he keeps pulling this crap, particularly in big games when everyone's watching the NCAA tournament. He knows he's hurting his draft stock.
Do you think it would actually hurt the draft stock? You think an NBA team would be like, I can't draft him number one because of this?
Yes, I think that has already begun. Yeah, and I think that's why you saw that video today. That's exactly why that is out there.
Yeah. It is interesting.
So, yeah, and he knows.
We don't need him for the first round. Just, second round, come on in.
Maybe he's trying to tank his way down to a better team.
Not a terrible idea.
The Zers.
Blazers.
Would you take him?
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
Well, what if he's like, dude, he's like freaking Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Be the most talented player on the Blazers.
Although I do remember the Blazers wanting Ben Simmons. Blazer
fans. The same thing was said about Anthony Edwards. When Anthony Edwards came to the draft, there was questions,
that's true.
Does he love the game? Does he actually like basketball? Because he went to Georgia. He didn't care. They didn't win.
He didn't do that much there.
And he always talks about like, oh, I have so many other hobbies. I'm so good at it. And now he's coming to the NBA. And you can tell this dude cares. And he wants to murder everybody. He's talking trash with everybody. I'm not saying Darren Peterson's going to do that. But there are instances where it is Ben Simmons, but it's Anthony Edwards at the same time. So you hope that he has that little Anthony Edwards in him.
I tell you what, that's a good point. It could go that way.
It really could, because when he gets to that top level and he's playing against guys like, Kevin Durant, and he's playing against guys like Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards is talking trash to him the entire game.
Yeah.
That's when he kind of is like, okay, I got to nut up here and I'm going to, give it to him.
But isn't the question, would you, if you're in charge of an NBA franchise, you taking that risk that it could go the way of Ben Simmons, but it could also go the way of Ant Edwards?
Because I look at a team like the Kings, who have the worst record in the draft, or worst record in the NBA.
They're perfect for each other.
Right. Because if I'm Darren Peterson, I'm like, dude, I own this franchise now.
He'll go there, average 25 a game, and they'll do nothing. And he'll get paid.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
They won't win. I'll be great.
Yep.
It's their fault.
Yep, exactly.
Having said all that, how do you think Darren Peterson is going to be in the NCAA tournament for
your
Jayhawks?
I'm just crossing my fingers, man. I'm just hoping that he's going to be good.
You think he does, though? You think he shows up?
Again, I hope. I don't know. Like you said, trust the track record. Probably won't, but I'd rather have him out there than not.
Right.
So when he's out there,
that's the dumbest part about sports is like, oh, he's so good. Like, I don't like him. I don't like his attitude.
Yeah.
Kind of want him to play every game, and I need him to.
Yeah. And a lot of people have asked this question, then we'll move on. But the NIL thing, I don't know. I know he got a bunch of NIL money. That's why he's at Kansas. I was saying this yesterday, but listen, this is clearly a case of a kid who just went to the highest bidder and doesn't really fit, like doesn't really respect the coach and is like, whatever, I just got a bunch of money. I don't know how those deals work in terms of like withholding, like what is his end of that bargain? If he's always pulling himself out of games and he's only played in 12 or 13 of their 25 games, whatever it is, can you withhold some? I don't know those. Those NIL contracts are so gray.
I don't think there's really any rules to them.
It doesn't seem it.
No.
And
it's a Wild West, dude.
And it sort of feels like he just gets it no matter what.
Yeah.
And the second you start peeing in his pot and taking money from him, if you try that, now you got lawsuits. Now he's not playing for, it's a mess.
Damian Martinez, when he was at Oregon State, he got paid, and then the next day he transferred to Miami.
Yep.
Because he got his money. He's like, I'm out now.
Yeah. It's nuts out there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to In the News coming up next. But first, Steven Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island, Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at 8-o-8.com. First on the Fan, Portland Trailblazers, they are back in action tonight. Second half of the NBA season after the All-Star break. They're taking on the Nuggets, but the Nuggets are 1.5-point road favorites over your Trailblazers, but the Blazers did make a couple roster moves today. They signed Sidi Sissoko to a new 2-year deal and an actual NBA contract. He was on the 2-way contract, had no more eligibility left, had to make a move. They cut Ryan Rupert to make room for Sissoko, who has started 24 games this season for Portland. Sacramento Kings forward DeAndre Hunter, he's going to have season-ending eye surgery. This is the third season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break to go, along with Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis. USA men's hockey defeated Slovakia today. They'll now face Canada in the gold medal game Sunday at 5 a.m., where Canada is going to be a slight favorite over the US of A. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, they have agreed to a new deal at Indiana that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million for the national championship winning coach. Deal will go through 2033. University of Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year of eligibility, but he was denied by a judge. He will now be attending the NFL Combine. This one's for Rob Genesis Invitational Leaderboard Update. We got Marco Penage. He's 7 under.
Say it right.
I did.
Penge.
We got Jacob Bridgman as well. He is 7 under as well.
Idiot.
Rory McIlroy, 5 under.
You're not even close. Dude, let me handle this.
I'm sorry. Those are the round 2 scores.
Yes, Penge is 12 under. Bridgman is 12 under.
McIlroy's 10 under.
McIlroy and Adam Scott 10 under.
I had the order. I just had the wrong rounds.
God, you're an idiot.
Wrong rounds. Back at you. Oh, this is Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen
Great
Sports
job.
Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance company acting like jerks. Don't tell your mom. Call George McCoy at Warren
I
Allen.
rattled you. I did want to mention one more golf thing because I know you care. So Scotty Scheffler was 5 over par, the world's #1 golfer. He was in last place in this golf tournament. There's 72 guys playing in this tournament. He was in last place. They had a rain delay, so they come back out to finish his first round this morning. He makes 2 birdies. Then he plays his second round today, and he makes 3 more birdies, and he has made the cut at even par.
They're actually losers.
So he was in last. He is now T43, makes the cut. He is only 12 shots back of the lead.
So we don't have to figure out what's wrong with him?
Well, he started slow the last 3 tournaments, but no, I don't think that warrants a call-in segment.
Okay.
But he did make the cut. But he's not going to win. Not on this course. He's too far back. But still. Good little rally. It is February 20th, 2026. It is time now for In the News. I'm your noted newsman. Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you're wondering, Suk is out today. He's not just being quiet. He has a plumbing issue. And I'm guessing we'll get to hear all about it on Monday. He was cussing up a storm on text earlier today, though, man. Whew.
Felt bad for him.
He was not happy.
Felt real bad.
I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't sound good.
No.
Sounds like blood was involved, too. It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today, National Caregivers Day, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. We have a lot of caregivers and nurses in our family. My wife was a nurse. My son is a nurse. My brother is a nurse. My brother, his wife, is a nurse. And they are saints, all of you, caregivers. Amazing. What you have to go through, you don't get thanked enough. It's a thankless job. It's amazing work. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
And you talk
every
for a
one of you. What?
And you talk for a living. They're all good people, and you talk.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
No, I get it. My sister-in-law, she's a nurse as well.
Okay, we have a Vaughn brother that we just
I have
learned
a
about?
Vaughn brother, yeah.
Okay.
He's an older brother. Avid listener. Loves you guys.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah,
Is he in Milwaukee?
He's been texting me, yeah.
Okay.
He lives right next door to my parents, actually.
Oh, wow. And so his wife is a nurse?
His wife is a nurse, yeah. And so anytime I have any health questions, I automatically call her or FaceTime her. So anytime she gets a call from me, she expects, like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, great, Steven's dead.
Isn't that great to have that kind of just in the...
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Because I'll get in arguments with Coach Vaughn. He'll be like, oh, I'll just call Dr. Britt. And then I call her, and then she's my doctor.
Did you just call her Dr. Britt?
Yeah, her name's Brittany, but we call her Dr. Britt.
So she's a doctor?
No, she's a nurse,
okay.
but she's my doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she tells me what I want to hear.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's also National Leadership Day. And all I can say about that is, even if you may think you're not a leader, chances are you could be. A lot of different ways to lead. And we need more leaders than ever. So look into it, damn it. That's what I say to that. Washington Square Mall is getting a makeover. If you've been out there recently, oh no, you're in Milwaukee, never mind. Buck's the one that lived out that way. Rest in peace. Heard from him today. He hit another first-round leader in the golf tournament. Unbelievable. The guy's a wizard. He's the first-round leader daddy. So I told him, I said, you got to sell your picks, man. People are desperate for winners. Put that on the internet.
He was on Penj?
What?
Penj? He was on Penj?
No, this is round 2. First-round leader, there was a 4-way tie. And his name is Penj.
I know now. The stupid thing is I looked it up, too.
Yeah, you tried.
I tried my hardest.
It's okay. Washington Square embarking on a major renovation that will bring a new sports center and interior upgrades to the sprawling suburban shopping center. Of course, that's out in the Beaverton area. Portland area. Portland, Beaverton, somewhere. I think it's maybe Portland. Right by 217 there. Contractors have fenced off the Tigard shopping mall. Technically Tigard. The southern parking lot in recent weeks, and they're tearing into the property's fortress-like walls. Mall owner I don't know, some guy based in Santa Monica said renovations will include the addition of a Dick's House of Sport, scheduled to open in the fall of 2027. They already have a Dick's Sporting Goods, but this is a House of Sport, and there are renderings of it, and it looks fantastic. Places to eat, maybe grab some sushi while you watch your kid skate around or, hit golf ball. I don't know. There's, simulators in there, basketball courts. Kind of cool. I could see you spending all day taking your kids to something like that.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. I think a birthday party would be a lot of fun there, like a kid's birthday party.
There you go. So that's happening. Portland Dining Month is back. I don't know if you ever missed it, but COVID killed it. I mean, it used to be a pretty cool thing. So basically, what happens at Portland Dining Month is you get a prefixed menu at 100 different restaurants for the entire month of March. And the price points are pretty good. They offer two different price points, $35 and $55. And some restaurants will have both options for you. So it's been 6 years since they held it. It's a Travel Portland promotion, and it's back for the first time since March of 2020. Participating restaurants include classic Portland haunts such as Higgins, Kennard, Huber's, and plenty of restaurants you did not yet know existed. Some place called Heavenly Creatures, Asteria. I knew that existed. There's a full list at pdxdiningmonth.com, and you even have links on there to make your reservations. Now, I want to know something about the Vaughn family, the coaches. If you have to go out or want to go out, no kids, and go to dinner,
like a nicer dinner.
Yeah, you want to impress Coach Vaughn.
Sheesh.
Where are you going? What are your favorites?
I don't know. I don't know the last time we've really done that, to be honest with you. We did have lunch the other day. We went over to Killer Burger.
Hot.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, that was about it.
Romantic.
I honestly don't. I mean, we don't really have a spot that we really ever go to that would be super nice or fancy.
It doesn't need to be super nice or fancy.
We're just plain. Just like
plain
James, dude.
Where do you go to dinner? You guys don't go out at all?
Not really.
Really?
She likes to cook.
Coach doesn't want you to wine and dine her from time to time?
No. I can't afford it. It's her money. Hey, I want to wine and dine you on your bill. Thanks. You want to flip that for me? No, I mean we like to include the kids in a lot of things, so we don't usually go to dinner a lot by ourselves because she's always just so busy, and then we get out late. So
I love going to dinner. It's one of my favorite things. By the way, Laurelhurst Market ate there for Valentine's Day. Delish, and they are a part of Portland Dining Month. So if you've been hearing me talk about Laurelhurst Market, you can go there.
I would say the place, if we had to choose, probably Screen Door would be the one.
Screen Door, yeah.
That's the one.
For breakfast? Or do you go for...
No, we go for dinner.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's good spot?
Yeah. That's probably the one. I mean, if we had to choose, that's probably a good little spot we go to.
Good little spot. Let's keep it on the food theme. A real-life barbecue pitmaster has set up shop in Portland. We'll tell you who and where next on The Fan. Hey, hot Milwaukee news. I'm kicking myself for not telling you this. Of course, the Vaughns, Coach Vaughn and assistant coach Vaughn, LeVon James, they don't go out. They're right in the throes of kiddom. And I can relate to that, not because of my own situation, but because my brother and his wife, who live in San Diego, they're both nurses. They have kids the exact same age as you. Mm-hmm. And we go down there some, and boy, it is wild. Like your weekends of plays and softball and soccer and birthday parties and this and that.
Zoo.
Dude, it's nuts.
It's a zoo. I mean, if they're not playing sports, then it's like, hey, there's a birthday party. If it's like, even when they are playing sports, it's like, oh, when's the tournament end? Because let's go see a movie now with your friend. Like, it is nonstop. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a couple years since we've really been able to go do stuff.
I get it. But listen, and a listener brought this up, and a huge assist to them, you being in Milwaukee, he brought up decibel. If you and Coach go out or ever get a chance to just go for a cocktail and a quick nibble, go to Decibel. It's in Milwaukee. Fantastic joint. Great cocktails. And it is Decibel. It's based on the hi-fi sound system. They have this sound system in there that is freaking unbelievable. And so you can still have a conversation. They have loungy couches and everything. Get a cocktail or 2 or 3 there and vibe out with the music and then get some nibs. Coach will love you forever.
I will love a little nib. So
there it is, right there.
I'll be sure to have to check that out. It's a good recommendation.
Good shout out by the listener on Decibel. Okay, this is in the news, Feb 2026. I got one more story for you, and it is food related. I love food. It's amazing I'm not 500 pounds. A nationally recognized pitmaster is bringing barbecue to Portland, and he's teaming up with one of the city's most celebrated chefs. Standing right under Con in southeast Portland is the smell that hits you first. Chef Gregory Gourdet and pitmaster Brian Furman have combined forces for a limited-time residency bringing Southern-style cooking to the Pacific Northwest. If you haven't been to Con, that's Gourdet's restaurant, and it's fantastic. I think last year, or maybe the year before, voted Restaurant of the Year in the United States. Haitian, very good. And this says, barbecue is a specialty for Furman. His residency, which runs through April, features Southern-style plates, including brisket, pork spare ribs, chicken, pulled pork, and classic Southern sides, adding a new flair to the Portland food scene. And it's not only about the food, it's the building of barbecue with the help of family. He says there's a lot of love put into those meats. Yeah, so his name is Brian Furman. Now, I'm not familiar with him. I don't know my pitmasters.
I don't either.
But apparently he's amazing. And he's open Friday through Sunday with dine-in and takeout options available. And it's right there by Con in inner southeast Portland.
Tell you what.
There you go.
Sounds great. I'm looking at it right now. Looks great.
You will never go.
I'll never go. I wish I could. Because that sound barbecue. I mean, barbecue is.
It's chicken.
It's chicken.
Is that your favorite barbecue?
I
love barbecue, but I don't eat a ton of it.
Well, we've established you don't like chicken.
It's not that I don't like. Again, you guys have to stop this. It's not that I don't like chicken. It's just that chicken is just chicken. It's fine. I think it's overrated. Yes, I am raising my voice at you. I get tired of this. I get tired of having to explain myself about chicken.
Well, it's
chicken's fine.
It is a crazy take.
No, it's not. It is not crazy to say that chicken is you can only elevate chicken so much. There's good chicken. There's a good chicken sandwich. But guess what? It's just a chicken sandwich.
That's crazy. Chicken is so good. Like, I could eat chicken all the time.
Okay. I think you should get out more. Evidenced by the last segment, talking about how you never get out.
Maybe I'm the bad person to talk to, but
I think you are.
No, Big Sook's out with me on this one. Chicken is delicious.
He loves chicken. And chicken is delicious. I'm not denying that. But we overvalue chicken. There's so much better stuff out there than chicken. And by the way, they don't have, like, the chicken restaurants are just like chicken sandwich restaurants. Steaks, because somebody will always say, well, what's the difference between chicken and steak? A lot. They have steakhouses where they elevate steaks and make it amazing. You have to pay hundreds of dollars for it. They don't do that with chicken. They may have a chicken dish on the menu for simples like you, but that's it.
No, that's true. You don't get $100 chicken dinners.
Right, and if you do, exactly, what does that tell you? It's just chicken.
It's still delicious.
Again, yes, I agree. But
I don't think you
overrated.
do.
I'm mad. You made me mad.
I don't think you like chicken.
I like chicken. I love a good chicken sandwich. As a matter of fact, it's a go-to lunch item for me. Like a good California chicken sandwich. I love it. But
it is more of a lunch item.
yes, exactly.
I mean, I'll still eat it for dinner, and I'll still.
I mean, it's
eat
on
the heck
par
out
with
of
a
it.
cold cut sandwich.
But look, I think you're right. If you're giving me chicken or steak, I'll
It's
go
chicken.
steak.
Of course you will.
But I feel like you are poo-pooing chicken a little bit.
Okay. Maybe I am. I'll try to be nicer to chicken.
Yeah, I think you've offended all chickens.
I think this all started because I'm fascinated by how many people go crazy, like even shooting each other or stabbing each other and standing in line for hours over an effing chicken sandwich. That is unbelievable
Okay,
to me.
but that's just idiotic behavior.
Well, this is kind of my point. Y'all are idiots. Wake up. Live a little. Try some cuisine.
Give me a chicken sandwich, bro. Now I want one.
Stop eating Cool Ranch Doritos.
Dude, I don't have them today. I wish I did.
Good days. All right, well, that's it for In the
Are you
News.
raising your voice at me?
You just yelled at me.
I
the
did.
entire
I
segment.
yelled at you. The chicken thing makes me mad. Now I'm mad.
I'm pissed now.
I'm not really. I'm just kidding.
It is.
Okay. Okay. We just
We'll drop
disagree. Right?
We're
That is-
sick on this one.
That is In the News for February 20, 2026, brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. A few headlines coming up next. The latest on Lindsey Vonn. And then we got Joey Harrington coming in here. We're going to talk some sports with Joey. I've got Portland questions for him today about like the Blazers leaving and all kinds of stuff. So we'll get to Joey at 5:30 here on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today online at reynoldsdefenseterm.com. First on the Fan, Portland Trail Blazers back in action tonight, taking on the Denver Nuggets. Denver a slight favorite on the road over the Trail Blazers, and the Trail Blazers made a couple roster moves today. They are signing two-way guard City Sissoko to a new 2-year deal. Sissoko was on a 2-way contract and had no more eligibility left to play for the NBA roster, so he signs an NBA guaranteed roster spot here. They had to make a move. They cut Ryan Rupert to make room for Sissoko, who has started 24 games this season for Portland. Sacramento Kings forward DeAndre Hunter, he's going to have season-ending eye surgery. This is the third season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break, who do have the worst record in all of basketball. USA men's hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They will now face Canada in the gold medal game on Sunday at 5 a.m., where Canada is a slight favorite over America. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, they have agreed to a new contract deal that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million per year. The deal will go through 2033. University of Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year eligibility. He has been denied by a judge. He will now be attending the NFL Combine as his college career is done. And spring training is underway. Some bad news, though, for the Minnesota Twins as ace Pablo Lopez, he's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He'll be out for the entire season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Friday. Your sports bros here. I'm Isaac, but Suk is not here. He is not over there. He is having plumbing issues today, and I don't mean his personal plumbing. I mean his home. And apparently there's blood, and bad day for Big Zook. So we'll find out what happened there on Monday. LaVon James is over there, and we're partying. We got Joey Harrington coming up in 20 minutes. And the club tonight, I've got the top 11 fun facts about the thumb, since yesterday was World Thumb Day.
Yeah.
And a hot new trend of the sleepcation. I wonder if you feel like this is something. I feel like this might be right up your alley.
I don't know what this is, but the sleepcation sounds like something that we would do, me and Coach Vaughn.
Well, you have a couple kids that run you ragged. The sleepcation might be the way to go.
Yeah.
So that being the club, a couple of headlines here. The U.S. did win today. Handily. USA! USA! They beat, I don't know. Was it Slovakia?
Yeah,
Who'd they beat? Yeah, 6-2.
Yeah.
So they're going to the gold medal game against Canada, who snuck one past Finland in overtime, and they won 3-2. So they had I got to tell you, as the noted hockey expert here on the station, and it's not close, I always worry about a team that cruises into a final versus a team that gets really challenged. That scares me a little bit because Canada, I just feel like if Canada, and they probably should because they're the favorite, if they drag U.S. into deep water, Canada's been there before, although the U.S. kind of had a close game the last game. So, I don't know, just coming in on a, like winning on a blowout, I don't love that as much.
Yeah, I mean, you see that all the time when teams have to play, playoff baseball for the last month of the season.
Exactly.
It's like, USA had a little easy one there. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And you as a hockey guy, you got to listen.
I think that's right.
I know. It's a fact.
I mean, come on. And my chicken takes.
You're so wrong on the chicken takes, and I think the text line confirmed that. But that's a whole different topic.
Well, again, there's zero chance I'm wrong on the chicken takes. It's just that you are misconstruing what I'm saying. I don't understand why people defend chicken so much. Chicken's fine. Like this guy says, chicken is less expensive than beef. You can find upscale restaurants that will make you an amazing chicken dish. You just haven't tried it. No, that's right. I said that. You can go. There's always a chicken dish for simples like you who would be then selling yourself short. Like you should never order that dish because you'd be selling yourself short, because if it's a restaurant with a great chef who can do amazing things with other great foods, it'd be like me going into the world's greatest bar and ordering a Coke. Coke's fine. I'm in the world's greatest bar. So, listen, I'm right on this. It's just that you're misconstruing what I'm saying, and you get a little defensive about the idea that chicken is overrated. It doesn't suck. It's just overrated. Okay?
I'll say this. You and Suk had this conversation the other day, last week. It might be my favorite conversation you guys have had since I've been on the show.
Well, we've had it many times. It comes up all the time.
Right.
Because he likes to poke me about it, and I won't stand for that. I'll poke back.
It was just the comment. Suk goes, chicken's great because it's chicken. And then you go, chicken's okay because it's chicken.
Exactly.
Like that was your guys' arguments. Was just
which that right there tells you that we're never going to find common ground on that.
And it was one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah. Ever of all time.
Well, I made it a little bit.
Well, you're a simple man.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so where were we? Oh, and then I have to tell you, Lindsey Vonn. Did you see the Lindsey Vonn update?
I did.
Dude, she had another surgery on her leg. She has now had. So I guess she's back in the U.S. She flew. So she was in Italy. Had a couple surgeries.
Yeah, she had like 3 surgeries over in
there.
Italy, I want to say.
Yeah, and then she came back and she's had 2 here. She has now had 5 surgeries on that leg. This one, she said, lasted 6 hours. She's still in the hospital and now says she's struggling post-op. Should we be worried about Lindsey Vonn?
She might be the toughest person in the world. The fact that she went out and competed on that leg.
Yeah, it kind of
there had to have been something before, and she had to know in the back of her mind, like if something goes wrong, like my leg is really jacked up.
Well, she had the ACL thing,
right? I know, and then if something goes wrong even more, my leg might come off.
I don't think she. You can't. Do you think she expected that? Like she probably knew that there was a good chance that maybe something bad would happen. But do you think she would expect this? And if she did, would she really have tried? 5 surgeries. Like, she's not doing well. She's still in the hospital. That's crazy.
Crazy, man.
So I don't know if she regrets not pulling out. And now
I bet she doesn't. I bet she'd do it.
She
again.
probably doesn't. Yeah, she seems the type. But I will say, I was reading today now that the ski people are a little worried because you notice her ski did not release. I don't know if you noticed that. When she shattered her leg and her ski should have released and it didn't. So now they're talking about safety issues in skiing. So, I don't know. Just wanted to point that out. Have you ever had any big surgeries?
No, I've never had a surgery.
Being a sportsman?
No.
Really?
I've never had a serious injury. I've broke my nose is crooked. I've broke my nose a few different times. But that's it. I've never had like a serious sports injury.
Now, did you have to reset your nose or did you just let it?
I just let it be, dude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, as a basketball player, you probably have crooked fingers because you've broken.
My pinkies are crooked.
Right.
And I got stuff like that. But like I said, my ankle's degenerative, so it's bone on bone, just rubbing together. So anytime I play basketball or anything, my foot swells up really badly, which isn't great. I've had a couple like hip injuries when I was fell on my hip and I couldn't really walk, but nothing like super serious, thankfully.
All right. I think that's it. Oh, we have real live baseball today. Pitchers and catchers, they're actually playing games.
That's great.
Which it is great. Which means good weather is on the way, not far. And it's also the best. Like, I always love, like, there's a couple things during the sports year that are signals of great things to come. One of them is when spring training games start. It makes me think of good weather, March Madness, and the Masters. And then the other one is in the fall when we get the Hall of Fame game. The Hall of Fame game always gets me going because it sneaks up on me because I don't really care about it. And then it was like, oh, the Hall of Fame game is tonight. And then I'm like, oh, that means the NFL is a couple of weeks away and college football is probably already close. I mean, come on.
The stretch from the NCAA tournament into the Masters is a underrated stretch there. Because then after that, you get right to the end of the NBA season leading into the playoffs, which for me, the NBA playoffs is great. And then you have baseball at that point. Like it's a good little stretch there because the NCAA tournament's my favorite time of year. I'm with you, man. I agree. The NCAA tournament starts, you got a good month and a half, 2 months before you get to the dog days of summer.
It's an underrated portion of the sports year.
Right.
Because, October is like...
We all know football's
amazing.
great. Yeah.
Yes. And then October you got baseball playoffs. The NBA is, I think, getting...
NBA starts going end of October.
Yeah. So, anyway, gold medal game, hockey, U.S. Canada, Sunday,
5 a.m.
5 a.m. So
a little early,
but you can watch it on Peacock. If you have Peacock, you can watch it on Peacock. They're all like on demand.
The good thing is though, if you want to watch it and you just don't want to wake up early, it's one of those things where if you wake up at, let's say 8 a.m., just don't check your phone. Like just go straight to the game because they'll have the replay. Probably on Peacock, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Just go straight to Peacock. Just
you can do it.
Put your phone down. You won't find out. It'll be like it's live.
I do that all the time. Are you able to do that? Like if you have a game that you don't want to, like you want to wait to watch, you can avoid the score. You just have to take very serious precautions.
It's hard.
It can be. The key is you gotta know in your head that you can't look at any TV.
Right.
If you're in a bar, you're in a restaurant, in passing, at home, you can't because you'll see the scroll.
I can't really do it. I'll be honest.
Not good at it, huh?
No, I'm terrible at it. Because usually I bet on it, so it's just like, how's my bet doing?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we covered it all. Real quick, we're going to learn how the Norwegians do it. You know that country, Norwegia, as we learned from Big Sook the other day? They're kicking everyone's ass in the Winter Olympics. How do they do it? That's next on The Fan. right, Joey Harrington coming up next. I was reading an article about the Norwegians from the country of Norwegia, and they are leading the medal count at the Olympics by a lot. They have a ton of golds. Like, they're badass. Now, you may say, well, they winter sports are their thing, living where they live or whatever. I mean, their population is akin to Minnesota. And so it does raise an interesting question, like, how do they do it? Why are they so awesome? And it's not just the sports. So the article that I read on them said that back in 1984, they were terrible, and they were sad about that. So then they hosted the games in 1994, and they decided that they needed to do something to be better and win more medals. So they created something called the Olympia Toppen, something or other. It's an organization, and their only responsibility was making sure that they recruited and trained Olympic athletes, which they believe is like, I mean, they're known for their oil. This is their second most coveted natural resource, Olympic athletes. Okay. But the thing about it is other countries have gone to study how they've done it, and they can't figure it out. Because when you go there, there's this guy, his name is Thomas, a Norwegian professor who's researched the training methods of the country's endurance athletes, and he said a lot of countries visit Olympia Toppen, or whatever it's called, to figure out what are the Norwegians doing, and they leave very disappointed because the facilities are modest, the schedule is actually sane, the people inside are perfectly willing to share their secrets with anyone willing to listen, they explain their philosophy on human development and joy for all, and they wax lyrical about raising happy kids, focused athletes, and healthy citizens. And they speak earnestly about how their organization is more like an organism, and to the rest of the world, they might as well be speaking a foreign language. But they say, we think it's an advantage for us that it's very difficult to understand why it's working. And one reason it's working is it's the exact opposite of what we do to our athletes here and what we put our athletes through here. As youth sports become outrageously expensive in the United States, in Norway, they insist that their sports be affordable. They prioritize having fun over winning. They make sure costs are low and participation is high. They encourage kids to sample as many sports as possible, which we'll get into with Joey Harrington, because I read more about that today and I want to talk to him about that, because Joey has always been an advocate for making sure your kids play as many sports as possible. And that's what the Norwegians do. They don't even bother keeping score until their athletes are 13. And only when they are selected for training academies, where they have access to the top coaches and other elite athletes, that's when they put them all together. So what they do is for example, they say that they take them all on a retreat. So like in the U.S., it's very, like if we have a bunch of bobsledders who are great, they just train and be great at bobsledding. They never see the skiers who train and be great at skiing, who never see the biathletes, right? In Norway, and it's probably easier for them to do this because it's a smaller country, but they all get together and they go on an Olympic summit as a team, and they go train together. That's how the Norwegians keep winning golds, right there. And I'm always amazed to read things like this and fully knowing that the U.S. will never take anything from it. You know,
No.
like
There's too much money involved.
there's probably a lot of people sitting out there going, yeah, who cares? Like, you know, why would we do that?
Well,
It's actually about joy, guys. It's about joy and balance.
I do think it's funny, and this happens all the time in youth sports. You know, these parents want to focus their kids on one sport and say, look, you need to focus on, choose a sport, play that, and then you're going to go D1. But if you ask 95% of Division I coaches, especially like football coaches, basketball coaches, they want you to play other sports. They say, look, we love it when guys play other sports because it actually helps you in the sport you're focusing on with other different skills.
That's right.
And it gets you away from it. It's less pain on your body. It's less work on your body because you're working different body parts and you play different sports. Coaches want that, but we insist, no. When you're young, when in your youth, you got to choose one sport and play, and that's what these trainers do. But everybody that's been successful, these countries that have been successful, are telling you go play every sport and then figure it out when you're a little bit older.
And we don't do it.
We
don't take our cues. It's crazy. It's probably because we just see the Tiger Woods story and we go, "Oh, my kid's going to be that." But you're so right. I mean, it does a couple of things. If you it doesn't you don't get burned out. A lot of kids get burned out because they're good at something and then they're just forced to stick with it and they lose the joy of it. And when they lose the joy of it, they lose the work ethic. And then their skills deteriorate. But the other thing that happens is that you become a more adaptable learner once you start sampling other training methods.
Because you're probably not going to be as good. Like if you're a really good basketball player, you can play baseball. You're probably not as good as baseball players, so you got to figure it out. You got to adapt on the fly. You got to,
and you're able to learn.
And it's funny because like my youngest, he's 7, and they had their first game, and one of the kids, he was kind of crying. He was a little scared, a little nervous, and his mom was like, "Oh no, it's already too late. Like he's never played basketball before. Like, is it okay that he's on the team?" And we're like, "Yeah, like it's great. He'll figure it out.
That's right.
It's okay. He's
it's
7.
Good for him.
But,
he's 7.
But a lot of parents think
I know.
like if they don't know at 7, they're not going to know at 17.
I know. The other thing that it does too is it allows them to try to actually find something that they love, and then if they love it, they'll work harder at it and they can be better at it. So, yeah, I mean the jury's out on this. Like the science is out there. It's been studied. We know what works, but parents just refuse to follow it. It's crazy. Let's talk more about that with Joey. That's a good.
Go Ducks.
Whoa, sorry, that was a misfire. Cliff Harris there. You remember Cliff?
I wonder if he played other sports.
He came on our show once, and boy, it was something. I don't know why he came on our show, but he did.
Was it as good as the Andrew Wiggins interview?
It at least it aired. Wiggins didn't air. We taped Wiggins and just didn't play it. He was so bad. But Cliff, yeah, he might have had a couple joints before joining us. It was not good. It didn't go well.
See,
but
that proved that I was a listener back in the day. I remember the Andrew Wiggins thing.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins. 3 interviews we had that we never played. One was Andrew Wiggins when he was here for the
Hoop Summit.
Hoop Summit. He was god awful. He's just a kid. Like
right.
he didn't.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, so we just didn't play it. Another was Dallas Buck, the Oregon State baseball pitcher.
Yeah. I faced him in high school when I was in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, he was nasty.
He actually walked me. Scared.
Yeah, scared of that big bat.
It was pouring rain. Actually, I'm sure the ball just slipped out of his hand.
And then Tommy Lasorda. We interviewed him for the World Baseball Classic. We were like, "Oh, cool, we get Tommy Lasorda." They were like, "Yeah, he wants to talk about the World Baseball Classic." And then we interviewed him, and he didn't know anything about the World Baseball Classic. A little awkward. So we didn't play any of those interviews, but for the most part.
And Troy Aikman.
Yeah, Troy Aikman. We're still waiting.
Right, he's coming on.
And Jamie Burke. But Cliff Harris actually came on, and it was fine. So anyway, good segue to Joey. We'll talk more about this with him coming up next for his weekly hit, courtesy of Mods PDX. That's next, but first, here is Steven with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Portland Trailblazers back in action tonight. First game after the All-Star break, they're taking on the Denver Nuggets. Point spread has flipped. Portland is now a 1.5-point favorite at home. Denver was a slight favorite. It has flipped now to the Blazers. And the Trailblazers made a roster move today. They signed two-way guard Sidi Sissoko to a new 2-year NBA contract. Sissoko was on a 2-way contract but had no more eligibility left to play with the big club, so they had to make a move. They cut Ryan Rupert to make room for Sissoko, who has started 24 games this season. Sacramento Kings forward DeAndre Hunter, he's going to have season-ending eye surgery. This is the 3rd season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break, where they've only played 1 game, to go along with Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis, who are out for the Kings. Sacramento, worst record in the NBA. USA men hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They're going to face Canada in the gold medal game. That's going to be Sunday at 5 a.m. Canada slight favorites over the United States of America in that one. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, the football coach, they've agreed to a new deal at Indiana that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million a year. That deal will go through 2033. University of Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year of eligibility. He has been denied by a judge that eligibility, so he'll now be attending the NFL Combine. And spring training in Major League Baseball officially underway. Good for that. But some bad news for the Twins. Ace Pablo Lopez, he's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He'll be out for the entire season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
But Tuesday brings the promise of making things all right. But you still drive to work in your family's minivan. The doctor calls on Wednesday, right before your flight, to talk about your colorectal exam. You're back to work on Thursday and your boss is all uptight, 'cause you didn't push your best-selling brand. But now it's the Friday drive and it's story time. Yes, it's story time. The one time a week when you can truly plan to kick back and listen to story time. Yes, it's story time. We're pushing it out on every airwave we can. We're on both 105.1 and 1080 The Fan. Part of the Fan's Global Sports Radio Network.
We have reached story time yet again, and here's our friend, the quarterback, J. Joseph Harrington. How is Las Vegas?
Well, it was actually a lot of fun. It was. Yeah. Despite, maybe this kind of ties in. If I go to Vegas, right, and let's say I go 6 times, right, over the course of a couple months, and I go to see Penn and Teller.
Okay.
Right. But the first time I'm there, there's Penn and there's Teller. And the next time I'm there, it's no Teller, but only Penn. And then Penn and Teller come back. And then, come back again. And then there's Penn, but no Teller. Like, what the hell's going on? Do you guys ever work together?
I'm following. Well, listen. I don't know how to answer that, other than we're the old guys.
Other than, no. How was Vegas?
We're the old guys, we're in,
Was there
we're
a
out.
Metallica concert that just popped up in, Portugal or something?
He's having plumbing issues. And I don't mean his own personal plumbing. I mean,
I was like, we having a colonoscopy?
No, but he should. He's getting to be about that age. We warned of that the other day. James Vanderbeek, R.I.P. But no, he's got an old house, and he had a pipe burst, and that, of course, you peel back the layers of the onion. The joys of home ownership. You don't have to worry about that. You have a fancy castle. Guys like Suk and I, us commoners, we have to worry about things like this.
Okay, we've just completely opened up, but we've gone in a completely different direction than how is Vegas, because
you asked.
Well, no, I did not ask for the smartass and, frankly, inaccurate comment about the fancy castle. So,
I've been there. It's fancy.
But, okay, hold on. So that doesn't mean that I don't have issues. It's a 1915 house.
Yeah, that's true. It is an old home.
I'm looking into the wall right now, and I see still some knob and tube. It's...
Yeah. I hate that.
It happens. It's home ownership.
Well, castles are old.
Yeah.
But, when you get old in radio, like, we're just the old guys. We're like the two old guys in the Muppets, It's like, when you turn on the radio, I want to set the expectation that if we're together, that is a luxury, I mean, it's no longer to be expected. This is how you wind down. You know what I'm saying?
Are you telling me you're quitting?
No. I would never quit. I'm not going to quit.
Are you telling me you're retiring?
No, but I'm thinking about it.
Are you telling me that you're getting fired?
Well, I don't. You never know. You're always the last to know if you're getting fired. But
yeah, that's actually true. So how about this for a story? So I was with the Saints, and Reese. It wasn't Tommy Reese. He played for. Pretty sure he played for Kansas. No, that was Tommy Reese. Anyway, he's a safety.
That was Todd Reesing.
Todd Reesing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, safety for the Saints. And his wife and Emily had kind of gotten to know each other, when we were there, and had become pretty good friends. And Emily sends me a text. She said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "Michelle Reese just sent me a text saying, 'I'm sorry, we're going to miss you guys.'" I was like, "What?"
Oh, no.
And sure enough, I, a couple minutes later, go turn on ESPN, and I'd been cut by the Saints.
Oh, my God. So, well, I mean, you don't blame him, right? Or her, or them.
No, God, no.
Yeah,
because
they just
you're
saw
always
it
the
on
last to know when you get fired. It was like, actually, I was the last to know, because everybody else apparently knew. Even the wife of one of our safeties, who called Emily, who Emily then called me, and I was like, "No, I talked to Mickey yesterday, and he said I'm good." Yeah, like I literally asked him, like, "Hey, do we fly Emily and Jack out here and get everything set up? Am I going to be all right?" He's like, "Yeah, you're good. We're keeping 3 quarterbacks." And then I got cut.
Oh, man. Mickey Loomis. He's still there, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's a Duck, too.
Is he?
Yeah, Oregon grad. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, Ducks stick together, kind of like Emilio Estevez and the guy who could only hit 1 out of 5 slap shots.
Yeah. Well, I have to give you credit, because there's a new study out that says, because you're a big... in youth sport, because you were in Vegas watching your son play soccer, your oldest.
Correct. Yes.
And you're a big believer in playing multiple sports. You say do not, as a youth, specialize.
As long as you possibly can.
Right.
Yep.
And I love that, because I've always felt that to be true. But now we've got new research that says So the premise of the study is they're asking the question, how often kids, sports stars, are actually stars in their field as adults. And they did a lot of different fields, sports and outside of sports as well. But basically, they only found a 10% overlap between high-performing kids and those kids being elite-level adults. Like, it's just not really a thing. But they said, further, the key to becoming elite when you're in your peak performance years, which they define as in between the ages of 20 and 30, that not specializing too early is the key. That is actually the key. And people don't understand this, or they don't think it's counterintuitive in a lot of people's minds, but it's actually true. If you don't specialize, what happens is you don't burn out, you don't get injured, and you also become, as it says in the study, it makes them a more adaptable learner as an adult, and they're capable of learning how to be better. So
Bingo.
I just want to give you props for that, because the research is backing you up.
Well, look, here's the other thing too, is all of the 90% of the kids who are the best at their sport as a 7th grader were naturally the best at their sport.
Right.
As a 7th grader, right? It wasn't because in 4th grade they were lifting weights and they were working harder and they were studying film. Like, no, they just happened to, okay, great. So you put them in practice, you put them with training, and they're going to do it a little bit more than their classmates. So maybe that's why they're a little bit better. But the majority of these kids who are superstars at that age are just naturally better. The absolute, the complete inverse of that is true once you get to college and professional sports. Mm-hmm. The ones who are naturally, I can only think of Roy Williams, Mike Williams, guys who were just naturally better than everybody else and didn't have to work in order to get there, right? So that's the difference, right? So if you can, injuries, burnout, let's completely ignore that. If you can get your kids at the age of 14, 15, 16 to love what they're doing, then they are going to choose to work at it.
Right.
Because that is the difference. You can take a kid who's the most talented soccer, baseball, football, basketball player in the entire state, and if that kid doesn't want to work to get better when they're a 16-year-old, they're not going to be playing college sports. That's the reality of it. And so there is this short-sightedness and I don't want to say lack of understanding what the true end goal is, that gets in the way and frankly creates situations where parents are putting their kids not just, they're putting them in harm's way. They're creating situations that are detrimental to both their physical and mental health.
Right. And they think because they've seen the Tiger Woods story, or they've seen the, I don't know, like you said, Roy, these freaks, they're the exception. So they think that they're doing the right thing because they've seen that, but they're actually, those stories are the exception. I was just reading an article about the Norwegians. Norway is dominating the Winter Olympics. They have a bunch of gold. And there's an article about how they've done that because their population is this, it's like the same size as Minnesota. I mean, we have 350 million people and they're dominating us. Why? One word: joy. They simply love what they do, and they cultivate that from a very young age, keeping kids together, having them do different disciplines, and once they get to the years where they are, okay, it's like time to hone in if you're going to be an Olympic athlete, they put them all together and they just simply create joy. They don't even keep score on anything until kids are 13 over there. And it's interesting that, Americans are just going to scoff at that. But dude, they're dominating the Winter Olympics. There's something to that. So when your kid doesn't specialize at a young age, they try different things. Lo and behold, like you just said, they may find something they actually love. And when they actually love it, that brings joy, and joy is what brings the level of, I don't know, obsession maybe to work at it and get better.
Your
at it.
work. Yeah. You're not going to work at something to the level at which you need to be a professional athlete, an Olympic athlete, whatever it is, if you hate what you're doing.
Yep. We're seeing that play out right now at the kid at Kansas, Darren Peterson, who will probably be the number 1 pick in the draft. But there is just no joy in what he's doing. He's just good at it. You know, you can tell. It's really, I don't know, it's kind of sad. Did you have that? Like, what was your route to football?
Boy. Well, I mean, my route was simply that college coaches saw me play. I mean, there was no, like, I literally I would play 5 sports in middle school. It was football in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball and track in the spring. And then, in the summertime, I'd do like swim team or like a tennis tournament or a golf something. I mean, just doing everything. And in high school, I did football, basketball, and golf as well. But I don't. My path to it was. It wasn't a path to it. I think that's the point. It wasn't. I wasn't playing football in order to be a professional football player. Mm-hmm. I was playing football because I loved to play football.
But you loved all the sports, right? Or did you love football more?
I love football the most.
Yeah.
I would, I loved basketball as well, but football was my favorite. And I think because, it's really interesting. So you said, what was my path to it? And I answered that college coaches simply saw me play. I went to the summer between my junior and senior year. I went to the Stanford football camp. And they, you do all the things. You do the technical stuff. You do the drops and routes on air and all the, teach your fundamentals and then go through, all the stuff that you do on the football field. And then at the end of each day, they divided us into teams. And we played this game, and I don't even know I can't even remember the rules of the game. But it was a combination of kind of football, rugby, soccer, lacrosse-ish. It was this weird, just fun, right? And so you get 100 kids at the camp and, divided into 10 teams of 10, and we played this tournament, and our team ended up winning. And at the end of the camp, Tyrone Willingham was the head coach then at Stanford, and he called me into the office, and he offered me a scholarship. And I will never forget this. He said, one of the things that we noticed about you, and he said, he was very, very clear. He said, you don't have the strongest arm. You're not, you're not like some freak athlete. But what we noticed about you is your leadership and how much fun you have and how infectious that is. Mm. How you're able to get people around you to play better and be a better version of themselves because they're enjoying it. And he said, how we saw that? And I was like, no, I had no idea. He said, we watched you during that football, rugby, soccer combination game. Like, that's why we put it out there. That's why we do that at the end of, every day at the end of camp. We did that to see who loved sport, to see who could play, who could work with teammates, to see who could step up and be a leader in a situation where they're uncomfortable, but turn it into something that was just sport, just fun.
Yeah.
Right. And that experience is what earned me a scholarship to Stanford. And there's like that is something that has never left me. Like those words from Coach Willingham have stuck with me forever.
Wow. I love that. What a great story. My God. So, sports parents listening, pay heed. Pay heed, okay?
Who's heed? And how much?
Pay heed. Alan Fieldhouse. Pay heed. The Fog.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, let's take a break. This is our dear, dear, dear sports friend, Joey Harrington. I have Portland questions. I have Blazers questions for you coming up next. I don't know if you saw, but because I know you're a Blazer fan, Bill Oram wrote an article about being worried that the Blazers may be as good as gone. So I want to know how worried Joey is about the Blazers leaving. You're a man about town. Perhaps our future mayor, Joey Harrington. We'll have more next, courtesy of Mods PDX on the Fan.
Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Back with Joey Harrington. Okay, let's get to it. Joey, you're a big Blazer fan.
Okay, so hold on. Let's.
Okay, I'll hold.
You've made me nervous now, and I've been thinking all through the break here. Like, we had this conversation a while ago, right? And admittedly, I am not paying as much attention to the Blazers this year as I should have. I, for a whole host of reasons, gave up my season tickets a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had season tickets for 17 years.
What? Wait, why did you give them up?
Mostly because, my boys didn't really enjoy going.
Wow. That's an indictment on the experience they're providing, isn't it?
Yes and no. My youngest just isn't a big basketball fan.
Yeah. They like
has
soccer.
nothing to do with, well, and yeah, so it wasn't something, so when you're sitting there with, 41 home games and dividing them up between people I shared the tickets with, and, you got 13, 14 games where it's like you're trying on a Tuesday night to, who can go, and you got soccer practice and you got high school. It just, anyway.
I understand.
It was time. I have not paid that much attention since they sold. I thought this was settled. You're telling me that it's not.
No. Well, I think it is. I think they're doing the right things, but the new owner, who has not officially taken control of the team yet, he's going to want a new arena, or at least a refurbished arena.
Right.
And they are working towards that. It's a little late in the game, but they are getting their act together at City Hall and, at the state level to make that happen. I don't know if you've been following any of that.
I did see that, and I saw that there was money allocated for a renovation.
Correct. Yeah, like $600 million, and we don't know if that's enough. We haven't even heard from the owner yet. So an article comes out in the Oregon Live or Oregon. Do they still print the paper? I don't know. Oregon Live, and the columnist is saying, "Well, look, I'm really worried about this." Tom Dundon, the new owner, is giving off Clay Bennett vibes. He's the guy who took the Sonics out of Seattle to Oklahoma City, and it's like, boy, it really seems to be a lot of fear-mongering, but I wondered if you were at all worried about the Blazers leaving town.
I was.
When?
I mean, we had this conversation when it was up for sale. Absolutely, I was.
Yeah.
It was a very, very realistic possibility. And apparently it sounds like it still is. I mean, this is not... Yeah, man. Now you got me thinking about it again. I had moved on. I'd felt pretty good. Yeah,
I don't want you to be blindsided.
Honestly, the biggest my understanding as a fly on the wall as the process was playing out, the biggest thing is going to be this arena.
Yes,
it is, and unfortunately, there are going to be cities around this country that will say to new owner, I will build you a brand new state-of-the-art, publicly funded basketball arena. That will be yours. That's in order to get the team to come there. That is what you're going to be going up against.
Yeah.
And I don't know that from everything that I've seen, renovating the Rose Garden is not the most feasible, is not the most realistic option, and it's going to require a big chunk of money to, whether it's a public-private part or a collaboration, but it's going to take a lot of public money to keep this team here.
Yeah,
because the business of sports is so massive now.
I know, but I will say, I think Portland. I think losing the Blazers is a bridge too far. Look, I'm just not going to play into the fear game. I think they're going to keep him. I think they understand the value of him, and I think it's all going to work out. We haven't even heard from the new owner, so we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I just was curious if you saw any of that. Now, here's a hypothetical that I'm going to pose to you that will not happen. Okay, so let me just, before you start yelling at your radio, people.
So why are you asking me a question that's not going to happen?
Because it's to find out your true character, Joey. This is the true test of Joey.
You just asked me.
I'm sorry, what?
You just asked me about my character, and I'd tell you.
Well, listen, I think I know how you're going to answer this because so here's the preface. The preface is the Bears. So let me go back. The Chiefs moving from Missouri to Kansas. They happen to be in a city that spans state lines, and they pitted one state against the other, and the new state won. Okay, so they're moving from Missouri to Kansas. The Bears are going to
wait.
Yes, they're building
That's happening.
Yes, the Chiefs are building a new stadium. Arrowhead is once the stadium is built, Arrowhead is out. They're moving over to the Kansas side because Kansas.
How did I miss that?
Well, it doesn't sound like you're following a lot of the sports news, Joey. But that
I'm
was
in Vegas. Okay, I'm in Vegas. Go ahead.
That happened.
Go.
That happened. Okay, so then the Bears just yesterday, Indiana passed a bill to try to lure the Bears, and it sounds like because Indiana, like south part of Chicago, is butts up against Indiana, so they might move across state lines because that state has forked over, a pretty enticing package for the Bears to go there. Okay, so this is the hypothetical: if the new arena in Portland was built in Vancouver, Washington, and you had to go to Vancouver, Washington to watch your Blazers, but it was in another state, and the arena was state of the art and awesome, and your kids loved it, and there's stuff all around the arena, and it's an amazing experience for you and anybody who goes. Isn't that better than having this run-down Moda Center in the middle of a homeless camp with nothing around it in downtown Portland?
Dumb.
I had a feeling you'd say that. But it's better.
Are they seriously leaving?
Yes. Wait, who? The Blazers aren't.
Well, the Blazers don't play in Arrowhead.
No. You said Arrowhead. Yeah. The Chiefs are leaving Arrowhead. They're getting a new stadium, and it's way out west of Kansas City in Kansas. Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's a racetrack out. There's a NASCAR track out there. I think it might be a casino, so they're building it out there. Because, like you said, states.
This is.
You're stunned.
I'm not stunned. I'm frustrated. Okay.
What are you frustrated by?
Greed. Because at a certain point, and as I'm stammering and thinking how does this tie into NIL and what is it? Is it players transferring and loyalty and all these things that go into sports? At a certain point, this sports, this business, this industry is about joy, right? Let's tie it back into that first segment. This is about the joy that people competing for their college, city, country, the joy that brings, not just for the competitors, but for the people who are watching them. And along the way, people have figured out how to monetize that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating to me. And I get it. I look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be naive about, the draw of making money off sports. I mean, I'm literally I'm in that business as well. But to take away somebody's joy, to take a team, to take fine. Moving 45 minutes west. Is it going to kill the Chiefs? No, of course it's not. It's going to impact somebody though. It's going to impact some kid who used to drive from 45 minutes east of the current Arrowhead, who now isn't going to be able to drive an hour and a half out. Mm-hmm. That's the small example, let alone the large example of taking the Blazers or any franchise out of their town. And I always said this, and guys in the locker room would kind of laugh at. I don't know if they'd laugh at me, except they'd kind of look side-eyed. And I remember I asked we were sitting there and talking about, contracts and guaranteed money. And I was like, that's incredible. Great job for so-and-so who got that contract, after holding out. And I was like, but what can you do with $22 million that you couldn't do with 20?
Right.
And they looked at me like, about $2 million worth of stuff. I was like, yeah, but you're missing the point. Like there's at a certain, and yeah, sure. Could you, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with 22 instead of 20. Great. But when you're starting to talk about billions of dollars, what can you do with $1.2 billion that you couldn't do with $1.1 billion? Like,
right.
And who do you have to hurt in the process to get that extra billion? Like,
yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry. Like this, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And to be cynical about it, like you could make the argument, again, we have not heard from this guy yet, but you could make the argument that the only reason this billionaire guy, Tom Dundon, bought the Blazers is because he saw those dollar signs regarding the opportunity for a new arena and the area around the arena. You could argue that that's the only reason he's in it. Now that's we know a few things about him, even though we haven't heard from him, and he is a sports fan. He has done a good job with the Carolina Hurricanes, and so maybe it is about the joy for him and becoming a fan and building a winner and taking care of the fans. But I'm with you. It really is frustrating. And the last thing I would say about this is I've always had a interesting relationship with the Blazers, but I think that the Blazer fans are some of the best fans in any market. And I have always thought that they did not, they just get crapped on. And some of that is that there's only one game in town, or at least one major pro sport in town, and they could take advantage of their fans. But I just feel like this fan base, if any fan base deserves not to be screwed over, it would be this one. And so we just kind of have to hold our breath and hope that this guy is in it for the right reasons. I mean, that's really it.
I tell you what, like having gone to plenty of basketball games in other cities, going to the Miami Heat games or the New Orleans Pelicans games or, the Atlanta Hawks. Blazer fans show up for a crappy team.
Oh yeah. They love, I mean, they're a huge part of this city.
How many years, decades did the Blazers sell out? I mean, it was decades of sellout.
It was like 30 years or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and they went through some really
crummy, some rough years.
That's right, really crummy, like some of the worst in sports, dark times, and the city. And obviously they had their detractors then, and a lot of people punted then and never went back. But I mean, it's just a great fan base, and I guess this is a conversation for another time, or maybe I'll put this in my notes to tee it up for next week. But you're a big fan of European soccer. I am always so, what would be the word? I'm fascinated, for lack of a better term, by the fans' pull in European soccer. Like the fans over there, they have sway. They don't mess around, and they can get what they want. American sports fans need more of that. I don't know how they get it, but I've always wanted Portland fans to have more of that, because I feel like they can stand up to a franchise that has, I think, in many ways, taken them for granted for so many years, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Here's my answer.
Okay.
And we're maybe running out of time, and you may not have been asking me a question. Premier League hasn't been around for very long. What, 1994, something like that?
I don't know. You tell me. I assumed it was hundreds of years old.
Nope. The Premier League was a new league that was created based off the model of the United States sports and the opportunity to monetize based off the United States sports. And it was brought about in part because of owners like the Blazers, who own the Bucks, Buccaneers, excuse me. And they also Man United. There was influence in how Premier League clubs were operated. Okay. So the idea of monetizing sport is a fairly new phenomenon over there. That's why
That's why
the fans have the sway, is because for hundreds of years, the people who were the owners, the caretakers, the owners of the clubs were simply caretakers. They were the caretakers of the community's team. And that's the whole point of it, is they were there. That team was there for the joy and the pride of that community, of that town, of that city. And that still continues. And sure, yeah, as money gotten in the way and created, the massive clubs of Tottenham and Arsenal and Man United and Man City, of course it has. But 90% of the clubs that still exist and that compete on a week-to-week, day-to-day level are these tiny little dots on the map that are supported by fans who show up every single week. And it's not 50,000. Sometimes the stadiums are only 5,000, but they show up. And that's why they have the sway, is because it's about the joy, and it's about that. It's about get all altruistic, but the right reasons. Like that's it.
Yeah. Well, maybe next week we'll pick it up right there, because I wonder.
Maybe we won't.
We might not. We probably won't. But I'll put it in my notes to try.
We didn't talk about Vegas.
I wonder how American sports fans. I wonder if that genie ever goes back in the bottle, or if they can.
No, it doesn't. No,
make
never.
the pendulum swing the other way. Yeah, I love Vegas, even though I haven't been there in a while, and I probably won't go this year. I love Vegas.
I won $500,000 this weekend.
Wait, what?
No, I didn't. I just wanted to see if you'd.
Yeah, you don't. I don't see you betting big at the tables.
Never, actually.
Yeah. All right. Love your hot body. Thank you. Good convo.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. That's Joey Harrington, courtesy of Mods PDX. The future of building is here. He is with us each Friday at 5:30 for Sports Conversation. 11 fun facts about the thumb. The club is next on The Fan.
Isaac and Suk here with
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, a great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the Fan, Trailblazers back in action. First game since the All-Star break. They're taking on the Denver Nuggets. This point spread has flip-flopped numerous times. Nuggets now 1.5-point favorites on the road against your Trailblazers. And the Trailblazers made a roster move today. They are signing two-way guard Sidi Sissoko to a new 2-year NBA contract. Sissoko was on a 2-way contract, had no more eligibility left, so they had to make a move, and they cut Ryan Repair to get Sissoko on the active roster. He has started 24 games this year for the Trailblazers. Second-round Kings forward, DeAndre Hunter, he's going to have season-ending eye surgery. It's the third season-ending injury for the Kings since the All-Star break, who currently have the worst record in all of the NBA. USA men's hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They will take on Canada in the gold medal game Sunday, 5 a.m., where Canada is a slight favorite over America. Indiana and Kurt Signetti, they have agreed to a new contract that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million a year. That deal will go through 2033. University of Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year of eligibility, but it has been denied by a judge who will now be attending the NFL Combine. And baseball and spring training is underway, but some bad news for the Twins. Ace pitcher Pablo Lopez, he's going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He'll be out for the entire season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Scrooty over burglar. I was alive.
Football sucks, kind of.
Why are you going
Chelsea
there?
doesn't like the Blacks.
That's unsuckable.
Let's got to do something. He was a beta theta. Shane Falco, so Malcho.
Okay.
Okay, we apologize.
It's time for the club, baby. On 105.1 and 1080. The Fan.
I do that.
Hoo-wee.
This is a conversation that I've tried to have.
We miss him.
Germany's a great city.
Germany is a great city. Big Sook is out today. No club without Big Sook. It's terrible. It sucks. I'm so mad. It sucks. Miss the big fella.
Yeah, you pretty are. I feel like a total idiot.
Who do you think has better drops? Like, if you had to eliminate one of the two of us in terms of our drops?
You. I'm eliminating your drops.
Yeah, you think his are better?
I think Sook's are funnier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like which ones?
All of them. Like when he mispronounces words. I think that's great. I think the racist ones are funny, just because it makes him sound.
I bet you do.
Makes it sound like he's a racist when he's not.
Quite many days.
This one always gets me every time I hear it.
Golf.
You know, he's trying to say
golf and Goff.
Yeah, he's trying to say Jared Goff and the word golf.
Right.
And it sounds exactly the same.
I remember listening to that live. And
I think there are some people that are going to look at this and scoff. I just have always preferred the whites.
How can this guy not say Goff?
I wish I could have more white things. The color white to me just always works. I'm asking where the white power rankings go.
Oh, yeah, they signed that brown guy, and then I went right past
I know that I'll probably have to join a white supremacist game. My mom is adorably racist. That's what the color guy was saying.
God. Uncomfortable. All right, well. Guess I need better drops.
It's no offense to you, but.
That's okay. I get it. Hey, look, he's local radio funny man.
That he is.
And podcast tough guy.
Who are you? You're just not.
I'm just the guy.
Who's the guy?
No one. I prefer it that way. Na-na-na-na-na. I watched something last night I wanted to tell you about. Do you like concerts? Probably not. If I'm learning about you, you're just like, I don't.
You want to know something fun? I've actually never been to a real live concert.
Not shocking. I'm learning that outside of sports,
I truly am a
don't
sports
take
guy.
this the wrong way. But outside of sports, there's not much going on with Dr. Vaughn over there. Like, what is if sports went away? Well, look, I
don't know.
If sports went away, like, what are you interested in? Like, give me a hobby or
It's a fair question.
Anything?
Because I don't know. Okay. If sports didn't exist.
So you have never been to a concert?
Not like a real, like I've been to like the Legends concert in Vegas where, the guys, pose as the Legends.
I don't know what that is.
Like
you mean like a cover band?
Yeah, basically like dress up like the guy. And they do it.
God.
Like the Blues Brothers, like two dudes dress up as the Blues Brothers and they start doing Blues Brothers songs.
Does any of this bother you? Like, do you have the curiosity to go see a concert?
No, because
do you want to go see Bruce Springsteen?
I love music. I actually love all types of music. You can go look at like the songs I've listened to lately, and it ranges from everything from country to rap to alternative, like 2000 alternative, like all of it. But I don't have emotional connection to any of it.
What do you have an emotional connection to?
Myself.
Did you say yourself?
Yeah. No, I love my wife. I love Coach Vaughn. I love my kids.
Okay, that's good.
That's about it.
It's a good start.
What
about your parents?
Yeah, sure.
They're fine.
Yeah, I love them for sure.
Okay.
Like my immediate family.
I love them, man.
Yeah. I mean, literally the drop that I have of myself.
Yeah, I want you to play. I can't find that. I don't know where that is.
Right here.
Yeah, okay, good.
This literally is true for me. Like the people that I love, I really love. But if I don't love you, there's no love for me. If I love you, I love you. If I don't, I care about you.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I just want you to, there's a lot of life out there. I mean, there's, some fun stuff. Look, my point with all this was I watched something last night on Netflix. Because what I was going to ask is, do you ever see a show or a concert that you know nothing about the artist? I think that's always fun. That's always fun for me. And I think Sue agrees with this. I think we've talked about this at some point along the way, where if you go to a show and say your wife likes an artist or you're just at you're with friends, like you go to a concert, it's like, oh, I'll go to that. Don't know much about him. I love that because I'm just, maybe pleasantly surprised, or I just like to watch artists do their thing. And I watched on Netflix last night something called One Shot. And do you know Ed Sheeran? I hesitate to ask you this question.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, okay, so you do know Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ed Sheeran's he's wildly popular. But I don't listen to Ed Sheeran's music. So I don't know much about Ed Sheeran. I know what he looks like, and I know that he's wildly popular. He did a Netflix special, and it's I promise I'll get to the thumb thing in a minute. There's a lot of people hanging on by a thread here because they want the 11 fun facts about the thumb.
I need them.
It's coming.
I need them.
But Ed Sheeran, in the same vein that I would go to a concert to just kind of check out what the artist has going on and what their fans, how they're vibing and everything, I watched this Ed Sheeran thing, and it was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. It's called One Shot, and what he did was he had somebody filming him for one consecutive hour. There's no edits, there's nothing. It's just him for an hour, and he has his guitar, and he is walking around New York City, and in some cases taking a cab or a ride or the train in New York City playing music. And dude, it is, and I don't know anything about Ed Sheeran. I don't know much about his music. Don't really even, I would say, particularly care for his music. That was one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time, because he starts by, and some of it's set up, like he's going to this engagement. Some guy called him to have him play live for his wife when he was his soon-to-be fiance when he was proposing. Then he keeps walking. He's playing his guitar. All these people, like there's all these people that are just like, oh my God, it's Ed Sheeran, and they're pulling out their phones. Like it's really cool. And then he just starts playing music, and he's walking down the street, and it's just him and a guitar. And then he goes into a bar and he plays with a band that he likes to jam with. And then he goes into he goes to a birthday party and he plays one of his hits for all the drunk girls. Like it was, and then he ends it. It's 1 hour continuous of him, and like the energy that it took for him to do that, first of all, is incredible. And second, he's really good. I didn't know how good he was. I mean, I know he's super popular, but I didn't know how good he was. He's a really talented guy, but how nice of a guy he is.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he is one of the coolest, most down-to-earth guys, saying hi to everybody, taking selfies the whole time. Like, if you need something to watch and you need an hour, or you have an hour, watch One Shot with Ed Sheeran. And he ends it, and he's gassed. He's been playing music for an hour, walking, running, trying to get to this party and that party. He ends it by walking into a theater full of people ready for his concert, and then he has to play a concert.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's awesome.
It's amazing how talented these people are. Like, I've watched a lot of those videos of whether it's before they're famous type of thing, and they're playing on the street. Like, Tones and I don't know if you know who she is.
No.
But she has a couple of popular songs that came out a while ago. But, like, there's videos of her playing on the street before she was famous, like her famous songs.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And, like, we were in Lake Tahoe for the celebrity golf tournament. We were there.
Yeah, you were.
And we saw one of the guys playing, the lead singer of Chicago. Can't remember his name.
Peter Cetera.
All right, there we go. But he was
Am
on
I wrong?
there.
Isn't that?
I'd have to look.
Yeah, I think it's Peter Cetera.
But he was playing, and so Coach Vaughn just yells at him, "Hey, you're my inspiration!" And he just busts out, "You're the inspiration!" Just starts singing to her, and it's like, man, just out of nowhere, just flip it and play it and sing it. It's just amazing how talented they actually are. Like, whether you like them or not, it's just like, man,
it's you can
crazy.
appreciate. That's what I love about, like, I think it's almost as fun to go to a show or see an artist that you don't know anything about, just to see what they do and like why they're so huge. Like, I didn't know really why Ed Sheeran was so huge. It's not like he's like this model.
I think people think he's very handsome. Like,
they do?
Because he can sing, he can play the guitar.
Well, he's really talented.
That's the hot part, is that he can play the guitar.
Yeah, maybe so. And he's got all these contraptions up there. Like, he sounds like a full band with just him, with his keyboard and everything. But anyway, I don't know how many artists could pull that off. Like, I was sitting there watching him going, dude, this guy is legit. Because how many artists could walk through New York City with a guitar and make it look that good for an hour? I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. You should check it out. It's called One Shot. Okay, we got to get back on track here. We went way long with Joey. I have exactly what you've been waiting for, and that is the 11 fun facts about the thumb. Next on The Fan. Okay, got to go quick here. We've got the 11 fun facts about the thumb. Yesterday was Thumb Appreciation Day. And I don't feel like we appreciated the thumb enough. Did you know that opposable thumbs may have freed up our ancestors' mouths for language? That's right. The evolution of a thumb helped our ancestors evolve to be better at defense, allowing for throwing and clubbing activities. Moreover, it may have even contributed to our cognitive function. Some say this is why we have language, because we can hold things in our hands and therefore use our mouths for something else, such as discussing the functions of the thumb. How about that? Our opposable thumb. We were just talking yesterday. How great is it to have opposable thumbs? We take those for granted. It's unlike anything else in the kingdom. Sure enough, because we have them, perhaps it's why we're so smart. And we have brains.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Did you know that thumbs have their own pulse? You might have noticed that medical professionals take a pulse with the middle and index finger. The reason is because there's a big artery in the thumb. And arteries pulse, making it difficult to feel a pulse in a neck if you're using your thumb. Did you know that?
I do not know that.
So Nurse Tay-Tay.
Brit.
Brit, yes. Same thing.
Yeah.
The two-finger pulse
yeah.
thing? Yeah. Because
your
thumb
makes
has a
sense,
pulse.
yeah.
The thumb separates us from other animals mostly. The thumb is wonderful. It evolves in such a way that we can use it to do so many amazing things, and it's one of the things that separates us from other animals. Mostly primates have opposable thumbs or toes, as the case may be. These include orangutans, chimpanzees, some frogs, some lemurs, and giant pandas, although their thumb-like apparatus is really just an extra bone that acts like a thumb. Toes can be thumbs. If you should lose a thumb, don't worry. Surgeons can rebuild it using your big toe. Now, do you do any... Okay, so why would I ask this? You don't do yoga.
I have done yoga before.
You have done yoga?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I don't... It's not that I don't ever...
Well,
I mean, I'm just not just this hermit that lives in the house. I do get outside.
Well, it doesn't sound like it, but okay.
Summertime's a little more adventurous for us, that's all.
All right. Well, I was in yoga the other day. I like yoga.
Yoga's great.
Yoga's fantastic.
You feel excellent after doing it.
100%. Love yoga. It's my speed. And we did a whole thing on the feets and the toesies, and the yoga instructor was talking about how basically the feet are hands. It's just that we don't train them. We don't train them. We don't stretch them. We're not as we don't have the dexterity with them because they're just feet. We use them for walking. But what we should do is really put our fingers between our toes and like spread them out and move them and work them and make sure that they're more like monkeys.
I've made that comment within the last month that I'm shocked that we have not had people figure out how to use their feet as hands.
Right.
Like to people like...
Well, people do. If they lose their hand, like you've seen people without arms or hands, they do use their feet.
But just how normal people every day don't... Like I always like to pick things up with my feet and then hand it to my hand. I do that all the time.
Isn't that great?
It's great.
We're so lazy. But it's true. The feet, we undersell the feet. So they're saying that if you lose a thumb, doctors can rebuild your thumb by using your toe. It's a specialized surgery uses microvascular surgery techniques to transfer your big toe to your hand, where it will function almost exactly as your thumb did. The toe is then brought to life by sewing together small arteries and veins using a microscope. The second toe can be used too, but this surgery, if you look it up, is not for the faint of heart, it says here. The 11 fun facts about toes, or about thumb. The thumb. Is a thumb worth losing a toe over? It may not seem like a big deal to lose a thumb. After all, you've got another one. But guides to the evaluation of permanent impairment, it is the American Medical Association's PDF on the subject, states your thumb is so important that a complete amputation will result in a 40% impairment to the entire hand. In fact, they claim that it would take a complete amputation of the middle, ring, and small fingers to equal the impairment of an amputated thumb. Number 6, it's better than having your hand sewn to your foot. They also point out that there used to be a common surgical procedure for thumb reconstruction where the patient's hand was sewn to their foot for a period of time. This procedure was called, and I'm not going to pronounce it, but it was a precursor to transplant surgery and plastic or reconstructive surgery as we know it today. Number 7, your thumb makes an astonishingly wide variety of motions. Other than pinching and grasping, the thumb translates, rotates, and flexes all at once. You know, if you think about it, it really is amazing. This coordinated set of motions provides strength and dexterity. Thus, it's the thumb that allows us to easily pen an essay, turn a nut, pick up a coin, or button a shirt. You like to turn a nut, do you?
I think you know the answer.
That dexterity also makes it fragile. The thumb may appear to only have 2 knuckles, but it actually has a third right above the wrist. This is called the first carpometacarpal joint. If that starts to hurt or gets big enough to look like a bump or a mass, you may have carpometacarpal joint disorder, a common condition that is partly genetic and partly for repetitive use. You can get arthritis in the other joints too, but this is the most debilitating. You don't want that. Pain in your thumb may require lifestyle changes. Experts suggest small lifestyle changes so you don't need to grip anything too hard can make a huge difference, such as buying milk jugs with handles or using an electric toothbrush. I love the electric toothbrush. Can you believe we lived in a world where we didn't have the electric toothbrush at one point? I can't. And the last 2 of the top 11 fun facts about thumbs, swiping right might be dangerous. While we generally associate thumb arthritis with older people, we now see it in people in their 40s and even 30s. Studies have suggested that frequent phone use can be damaging because we type with our thumbs, right? You need to work your thumbs. And what it means if your thumb is numb, if instead of pain you're experiencing numbness of the thumb that extends to your index and middle fingers, you may be showing early symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. Fortunately, that's not an emergency. The condition takes a long time to become a big problem. People can sometimes help the condition by wearing wrist braces and getting physical therapy. If you just can't take it, you can get surgery at any point if you fail to improve with the bracing. And those are the 11 fun facts about the thumb. Who knew? Listen, we're selling our thumbs short. Treat your thumbs with respect. Here's Stephen with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, Trailblazers back at it tonight, taking on the Denver Nuggets at home at the Moda Center. Point spread's been flipping back and forth, but the Nuggets right now are 1.5-point favorites on the road, while the Trailblazers made a move today. They signed two-way guard Sidi Sissoko to a new 2-year NBA contract. He currently was on a 2-way contract, had no more eligibility left on it, had to make a move. They cut Ryan Repair to make room for Sissoko, who has started 24 games this season. USA men's hockey, they defeated Slovakia today. They will now face Canada in the gold medal game on Sunday at 5 a.m., where Canada is a slight favorite in that one. Indiana and Chris Signetti, they've agreed to a new deal at Indiana that pushes his annual salary up to $13.2 million. That deal will go through 2033. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, he was trying to get an extra year of eligibility to play for the Volunteers. He was denied by a judge. He'll be attending the NFL Combine now. And Major League Baseball and spring training underway. But some bad news for the Twins as ace Pablo Lopez going to undergo Tommy John surgery. He'll be out for the season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Nation ad. Would that? I mean, we're so far behind. I kind of got to go to my Window Nation ad. How are your windows? They good?
They're good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You said your house was built 13 years ago, 12 years ago?
12, 13 years ago.
All right, so you're good.
Yeah,
You're
they're
on
still
windows?
good.
Yeah, you sure?
I mean, I could use a double hung.
Well, hey. How about 2 double hungs for the price of 1?
Would love it.
All right. Damn it. I can't even do that with a straight face. All right, well. Gotten a lot of compliments on my Portland Winterhawk sweatshirt today.
You look really good.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you. Steven asked me, he goes, so 2 people, when I first walked into work today, 2 people were like, nice sweatshirt. Oh, wow, that's really cool. And then Steven goes, does that make you feel good when people compliment you on your Portland Winterhawk sweatshirt? And I said no, because it's a sports sweatshirt.
Also, it's like, well, what do you think about you the other days? You don't look good?
Right. And I'm just, all I'm doing is wearing a hoodie.
That's all
Whereas if you feel good, like if somebody said, like if you get all dressed up to go out to the dinner that you never go to, and let's say Steven decides, he's like, you know what, let's go out tonight, Coach Vaughn. I want to take you out. Let's throw a little whimsy into our life. Let's get the olds over here to babysit the kids. We'll go out, and you get all dolled up. You throw on a sports coat, and you
love doing that for a wedding. Love
best
dressed up,
foot forward. And then somebody comes up and says, wow, you look really good. That makes you feel good, right? That makes you feel good because you're trying. But when you're in a hat and a hoodie, and people are like, wow, looking hot.
You do look great. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna tell you all day.
It's weird. All right, we got to wrap it up. We'll do that next on The Fan.
Isaac and Big Sook have you from here.
Well, we blew it with hot thumb talk. We took up too much time, and we must adjourn. Everybody have a great weekend. I mean that. Believe it or not, next week, we have a full week of shows. Wasn't this a short week? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were off Monday.
Yeah. I feel like we've had a lot of short weeks. Well, I guess Sook managed to make it a 3-day work week. But I think that next week, barring something unforeseen, you'll get both of us for 5 days. Tune in to find out. Everybody have a great weekend. We are back Monday, 3-7 The Fan. Good night.
Friendships of space.